ratings for the years are up, way up. A lot of people watch this year. Oscars drew over 18.7 million viewers. That's a lot. Anything that's up even 1%, because of how many different streaming movies that are out, other things you can do. If something's up 1 or 2%, it's huge. But if it's up 12%, viewership for Sunday's Oscars, 18.7 million viewers. They tuned in to see Everything Everywhere All at Once, earn Best Picture honors, and dominate the 95th Oscars on ABC. So that's good for Hollywood. And what's good for Hollywood is usually good for Los Angeles. Because a lot of people are in that business. What's behind that? Because we had usually Oscar numbers for years now. All of a sudden, big high. Was it because of last year with the slap thing, or was I don't know. Asian aspects with the with the Kelly O and those winning in the movie itself. It may have been the Top Gun was nominated. There's so many people that saw Top Gun and so many fans that even a big movie like that nominated, just even nominated. Yeah, but then they heard Top Gun was nominated. Like, I know Top Gun, I watched it. And they got voted. They didn't win a single one. No. Oh, that makes it feel even better if that's the reason they high rate. All those Top Gun fans. And then they all saw nothing happen for them. I don't think Top Gun won anything. I think it's one for music. I think it's technical. Yeah, I think it won for technical. Oh, that's right, sound effects. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sound. The one for sound. With all those, people like the jet. Yeah, people like the jet. It was up for 5. Wow! Sound? Did we get sound? 9 different people yelling. We got sound. We got it? Can you hear me? It's sound. Oh, boy. All right, March Madness is a big deal. Right around the corner. Starts this week. Selection Sunday. And the NCAA has specifically playing the upcoming college basketball. Like you may not realize these days is when you throw a couple of bucks in your office March Madness bracket pool, you're contributing to what has now become a multi-billion-dollar industry thanks in March. There's a growing number of states that have made sports betting legal. It has been transformational over the last 2 years. Already, just on this NCAA tournament, the expectation is $10 billion is going to be wasted on March Madness. Where shall I get involved? 52% of folks will be making some form of an online wager now. Do you guys do brackets? Do you guys go do the brackets? I do. You guys do the brackets? Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah. Would you do them if you weren't Mary John? No. You would never, ever. I wouldn't have a chance to win if I wasn't Mary John. That's what I was going to say. Is he helping you with them? I always, yes. If you're not actually doing it, he's doing it. Well, I hand it to him. You would own the TVs with the damn tell us not to look at any of those effing games. You wouldn't ski and wouldn't look at football. I used to work in sports, so you don't know. In some ways. You watched it on the Michigan pants on, Michigan hat, Michigan jersey. I'm like, hey, I want to go to Michigan. About an hour. A lot of equipment there for being in for 10 minutes. Not looking, it looks like a lifer. Looks like you're like 4th generation Michigan fan. I'm a support team member. And by the way, for the first time, it looks like this year, legal revenue from gambling, $6 billion, is going to outnumber the illegal revenue from gambling. Yeah, but we don't get to do it here in California. We have those. Why? Because since 2018, when the Supreme Court said states could have sports gambling, 36 states have legalized it already. Yeah, what about the trendsetter that is California? Did we get involved? Oh, no. No, Reverend didn't want it. And it is all over the face of the next decade. They don't actually make a serious attempt at it. There's a queuing not to have one. Utah. How about that? Utah's going to be last. They're going to drag them over the line 30 years from now. But we don't have in California. We're pretty progressive. What happened? I don't know. All right, we're live on KFI. We're not Thursday. KFI 300. President Biden's began a 3-day trip to California and Nevada. He started in San Diego today, where he says Australia is buying nuclear-powered subs from the U.S. to modernize its fleet. 20 million people from New York to Boston under another winter weather alert, it's heavy rain, strong winds, power outages, and coastal flooding are expected to hit there over the next 36 hours. And everything everywhere all at once here at TCJ. One baby day outfield last night, getting on 7 trophies, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Director, Original Screenplay, and editing. Not count. That's Top Gun not count. It's safe. What I've heard of it. Schedule your free consultation today. All spot receding hairline, cutting hair is in fact optional. Imagine the relief. Just knowing a full head of hair is a real possibility. Advanced Hair's one-day treatment, virtually pain-free, right? And starts to grow the very next day. Now, work for me, work for tons of our listeners. Well, I'm going to thank you personally for inspiring them to take control. I say you're welcome. So Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care always makes this the perfect time to pursue your needs. Do yourself a favor. Schedule your consultation right now. If you choose to move forward, whether you will, you're going to receive $250 off, 250 free hair grabs. That's a sweet. 844-333-HAIR, making that call literally the toughest part. Advanced Hair successfully restored my bald spot and your new hair is also backed by the industry-leading guarantee. Call them up, 844-333-HAIR, or the website, advancedhair.com.
Something's on the pan. As you make your way along that eastbound side, it looks like we're getting things cleared out of rain coming up on here. That last second right lane is still plugged up and delays pushing back out of Santa Monica all the way from just about Cloverfield. This is good news in Pacific Palisades. There's really that little slide just on the northbound side of the road just past Sunset Boulevard. The right lane has been blocked off while countless crews out there sweeping up. But traffic is completely done, and delays are recovering away from California incline. Hey, FI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Info Martinez.
This is footballers Paul Murray. This was Frederick from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
The Dodgers have spring training action beat the Guardians 11-4. The Eagles with a 2 win over the Mariners. The Chargers expected to pursue safety John Johnson, who was originally released by the Browns. He played with the Rams in 2020 under then defensive coordinator Brandon Taylor. Marquee NFL defensive players getting a change of scenery. Linebacker Tremaine Edmonds departing the Bills to the Bears, taking Jesse Bates to the Bengals to the Falcons on multi-year deals. Tom Strikeout. During Staples, on 5 teams scored up to 40% on brands like Toasted, Papermate, and Elmer. In the Earl, they offer M4-1. Also, 24. Help your favorite teachers, Dr. Classroom at Staples. It's reported. Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Buy your tickets today at YamavaTheater.com or the casino box office. Maluma, live at Yamava Theater on April 27th.
Earn the bachelor's, master's, or nursing degree in the classroom or online at Vanguard University. Ranked as the top 10 university in the West by U.S. News and World Report for 12 consecutive years. At Vanguard, no story matters. Visit Vanguard.edu to learn more. The bills start coming in, and they don't stop. Medical bills, dental bills, car repairs, rates that do. Five people need, but just don't have. As a non-profit, JFLA has been helping people overcome financial challenges since 1904. We provide zero interest, no fee loans, so that emergencies don't need financial ruin. Support our efforts and learn more at jfla.org. In need of a loan yourself? We're here for you at jfla.org.
I'm Martin Pope, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I told you about how your nose is your body's characteristic. The Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergies, viruses, mucus, and germs. And that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like John, quote, after walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much music, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer, unquote. He's one of over 100,000 at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-H-E, clean nose, healthy life. No one has it.
I'm going down the rabbit hole as how much is that list cost? Actually, usually, I have no butt at all. I lost it all when I had my bariatric surgery. I lost so much weight during a good way my butt fluttered. I actually just painted the American flag on it on 4th of July, and there I am with the fluttery butt. Live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI, and on demand anytime on the iHeart Radio app. Rain coming in. Tomorrow, 2 to 4 inches in the valley.
Yeah, NCAA tournament starting. Get your bracket ready. Your bracket's ready, bro. And then San Diego's Crypto Bank Silvergate announces their stuff down. Signature Bank over the weekend, then Silvergate. Crazy stuff.
Speaking of craziness, there's still a hell of a lot of shoplifting going on, and everything is locked up. I noticed that over the weekend.
Even underpants.
Locking them up.
Many stores and pharmacies making noticeable changes in order to prevent shoplifters from stealing valuable items like laundry detergent are being kept locked up behind glass cases. Evidence for Eric Cindy has more, including reactions from customers. We've seen it locked up and get crazy through their retail stores. Over-the-counter medications and cosmetics. I understand that. But socks and underpants, also laundry detergent is put away in cases. This theft-deterrent strategy has also expanded to clothing like underwear.
Yeah, I saw, well, I don't know what store I was in.
It wasn't Target. I don't know. Maybe a middle road store.
But they had
CVS?
maybe CVS. No, it wasn't CVS. But they had
Has not 1, 2, or 3, but at least 4 aisles in just the men's section with mostly undergarments locked up, making some customers upset.
yes. I saw it in the same store. It had underpants, brassieres, and there was Rouge. Feel that makeup? Rouge. Everything's locked up.
Then you ask the press something to the button and wait for somebody to come.
Yeah, good luck. You press that button and, and nobody is notified.
Is this why you're wearing the pants?
That's right. I couldn't get any underwear. I'm not going to do the commercials for the mom thing. I sit here and I feel moist. I've had these on since 9 o'clock this morning. And I'm beginning to smell like a homeless guy. I'm going to break. What are you doing? I'm going to break for Mo Kelly, huh? Guy coming in later. I was like, what's going on in here, man? Well, I've been asked to put the pens on for a week to see if I can endorse it. I told him that. Man.
Then you ask the press something to the button and wait for somebody to come.
You gotta go look for the guy. As a matter of fact, I'm such a regular at Pavilion in the liquor department. They actually issued me a key about a month ago.
Oh,
There's no one.
that's nice.
My wife thought that was a signal. I said, oh, did I make it, wife? That's not you made it, wife. No.
And everything forever. Was there a ceremony or anything?
No, I just came in an envelope to the house. It said, congratulations, you purchased X amount of Cheetos, and you've proven to be trustworthy, and here's your fee, so you don't share with anybody.
It's like a rewards program.
Okay, yeah, that's the way I looked at it.
And they say forever. It says forever.
It started a couple of years ago during the pandemic, and even just prior to that. What we saw were people going into these retail establishments and stealing large amounts of these items.
Yeah, various retail stores across Los Angeles have turned to this method to prevent shoplifting. According to LAPD,
Okay, it might reduce shoplifting, but it certainly doesn't enhance my experience.
Having to get the guy with the keys all the time with the keys. And then I was at Walmart, and I was trying to get the carriers, the holders for air tags. They're like $3 for school or whatever. And they were locked up. I'm like, why are those locked up? They're $3. And she's people stealing them. So the one in between with the keys, she got her keys stuck in there. And then she had to call another woman to get her key out of there and to open up the case. Oh, Bobo. I just kept saying, oh, Bobo. Oh, Bobo. Oh, Bobo. Bobo. And late night looking at me. What's wrong with that husband of yours? I just keep saying, making that noise. When you try to get out of the cabinet, Adderall. According to LAPD data, the first 2 months of 2023 saw an average of more than 880 robberies, burglaries, and thefts from stores per month. That's up significantly from the monthly average in the last few years, about 2% more than the average between 2016 and 2019 before. I'll be honest with you, my wife, if she called it right now, she'll tell you the same. I rattled off probably 20 babos before she looked at me. Before the woman looked at me.
And your wife was beside you?
She's saying right there.
She didn't like,
She was covering her mouth where she was smiling. But she was there for good. But just like, oh, bro. She's not going well.
Was the Braziers and Ruby locked up in that store as well?
No. The Braziers weren't. I don't know about the Rouge. I think my wife was good on Rouge for a while. But any of those pantyhose in the plastic wood. Oh, the legs? Yes. No, but you know what's weird though is when you're at Walmart, you have to pay for your electronics back to the electronics place. And then you got to go out and show them your receipt. Here's the tip. If you pay for something in the electronics department at Walmart, don't keep it in your cart. Bury it. Because people come by and steal it out of the cart. It's already paid for. And it's already gone through the metal detector, to release the, whatever it was, the sensor. So people can steal out of, they'll take the whole bag out of your cart. And it's the tip. There's a receipt in there too. So you can just walk right out.
They should start bringing those electronics up to the front.
I don't like the vodka walk to the front routine.
The Costco thing?
Yeah, because then you gotta go, alcoholic on line 7. Okay, let's not hang a big light on it, bud. Come on. Just trying to get by, man. Just trying to get by.
Lady used to move to Porto.
Wonder who that is. Everybody knows who it is. But I'd like to watch it. I don't know.
I can understand why the company tries to create their walls. Nobody makes it any easier for the customers. What can understand that the law enforcement expert says people mostly steal these items that they can make profit off of it. And what they do is they sell it at a third-party venue. And so it's an organized crime.
The expert says the recent items that are now locked up will stay as is, and things won't go back to as they were. Folks will have to wait until a worker unlocks the case. Oh, Bobo. You keep saying that while they're unlocking. Bobo. Oh, Bobo. Bobo. Oh, Bobo. And there's times you can lock the merchandise to the counter.
Your time. Basically, when you need to work a warrant or after a warrant, you have to go home and cook.
I'm with that lady. Same here. All right, we're live on KFI M640. More now with clouds in KFI 24 News. 19 states are on alert for major storms expected to begin this week on both coasts. While before Air Force One, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said federal aid workers on the ground in California, parts of our state, are already experiencing flooding.
TRUMAN has deployed incident management assessment teams to the California Emergency Operations Center and has established an incident support group in California to prepare the state supply.
Over 18 million people across California are under flood alerts that cover much of the state. The National Weather Service's major wind and water impacts are expected. President Biden is in San Diego and will be visiting Monterey Park tomorrow. Mendocino Hills has been arrested for stealing a backpack that had GPS-enabled headphones inside, leading deputies to his location. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department's video shows a man breaking into a car yesterday, stealing the backpack. Deputies were able to use the GPS tracking to pinpoint the man's location at a business parking lot on Mountain Avenue, where he was taken into custody. Ratings for the Oscars have grown for a second year in a row. Last night's ratings were the highest for the show since 2020. 3 years. Nielsen says the 96th Oscars averaged 18.7 million viewers, got a 4.0 rating. That's a 5% bump in results, 249 from last year's report. This is last around the world. The Biden administration is disapproving a roughly $8 billion oil drilling project in Alaska. The administration made the news today after it said it would reduce the size of the project by allowing 3 drill sites instead of the 5 proposed.
The decision also requires the company to relinquish its leases for 68,000 acres to create a buffer between infrastructure for the Willow site and migratory routes for a nearby caribou herd.
ABC Sharon Travis says the Interior Department says it has substantial concerns about the environmental impact of the project. The company behind the project says the move could produce up to 180,000 barrels of oil a day and create up to 2,500 jobs during construction. It's been a long time coming. Former President Trump's personal attorney Michael Cohen has testified before a grand jury in New York investigating hush money payments he arranged and made on Trump's behalf. Prosecutors are considering charges of falsifying business records. This is not really saying, right? What this is about accountability. So he says if there's an indictment, he'll come back as a fact witness down the road. He says his goal is to tell the truth. Cohen was sentenced to 3 years in prison in 2018, mostly spent at home for pleading guilty to campaign finance charges and lying to Congress. We'll check the Q10 freeway coming up. Well, it's not locked. We work hard, and that's why, the LA Times readers voted Morongo the best casino in the Southland. How about that recognition? Ray Gun giveaway. Get yourself a toasty toaster. When you're in 500 points on your rewards card on the 20th or the 21st of March, your choice. St. Patty's Day freebie. You get a plush rainbow keychain on March 17th. Wow, look at you. Also, E-Drink and D-Irish for the day. Corned beef and cabbage. Wow, Good Times Cafe. And discounts on draft beer and Irish whiskey at all the bars on St. Patty's Day. So, trunk in Good Friday. Yeah, what's that? You could win up to $1,500 in free play playing slots with your rewards card on Fridays, 1 p.m. That's huge. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times for everybody. The clouds, cool temps out there tonight. Overnight lows about 50. Chance of rain coming in tomorrow for about 24 hours. It's going to start midday tomorrow and last for the next day. Same time. Some clouds and a tad warmer during the day after that. Just for the weekend. 57 in Placentia, 56 in Laguna de Del. There's a stall in Monrovia.
This one's on the 210 heading eastbound before Huntington Drive. The carpool lane is blocked. Highway Patrol's running a break to scoot them off to the shoulder and overall flowing right now away from Sierra Madre. Westbound's doing okay off at the 605 heading into Pasadena. Fast as rocks. The wreck on the 14 southbound just past Aguilote Canyon Road. The crew is out of the carpool lane. It looks like they should be off to the shoulder by now, but watch out for some pretty heavy delays approaching the scene of this crash. And in Fullerton, a stalled big rig crane 57 southbound at Netwood has that right lane blocked, sending back from Lambert. Hey, FI in the sky, help get you there faster. I'm Lisa Martinez.
Welcome to the CTAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, bro. It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with his CTAP. His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage. Michelle's rolling Steve over. Here he goes. The mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring. Michelle throws an elbow. Now a shove. And she's leaving for the couch, taking her place as the Hayes' 100-pound lap. That's in that dog craft, too. With all this struggle, you should get Inspired. Absolutely, bro. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep. Learn more at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Have you heard there's a new way here to deal with joint pain that doesn't require drugs or surgery or downtime?
TC Kinetics has arrived with real, lasting, all-natural relief using the latest advances in regenerative medicine.
They've got clinics in Glendale, Orange, and Mission Viejo with more on the way.
TC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these amazing treatments. They take highly concentrated healing properties from your own body and put them in your achy joints. The goal is to restore and repair damaged joint tissue the natural way.
Patients are raving about this all over the country. Pro athletes have been doing this for years, but now it's available to anyone.
Imagine being pain-free by this summer. Living life the way you used to. Walking, running, playing sports.
If you've got pain from arthritis or injury, don't think steroids and surgery are your only option.
Call and learn more about these remarkable treatments using regenerative medicine.
TC Kinetics, now in Glendale, Orange, and Mission Viejo. Call for a free consultation. 213-997-PAIN. 213-997-GAIN.
Non-surgical joint pain relief has arrived. 213-997-PAIN. Homeowners, stop worrying about drinking harmful water. Get a Puritan whole house water filtration and conditioning system for $0 down and just $49 a month. Go to PuritanWater.com. News updates, handle rants, dog videos, we've got them all. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AFI AM 640. months of it. Pouring. Pouring. It's been pouring tomorrow in the valley. 2 to 4 inches. 3 to 6 inches in the mountains. An atmospheric river, they're calling it. Huge. March Madness is beginning. That's a lot of big deal. Americans are going to wager $15.5 billion total for March Madness. And Disney's famous Dole Whip is coming to a grocery store next month. Quick. Yeah, you can get that. Hey, Kroger, have you only had 2 experiences with SoFi? Yeah, the 2. Both horrible. I wouldn't say horrible. It was knowledge gained. I enjoyed experiences. I definitely enjoyed Friday's experience. It's just the aspect of the stadium that just does not make me want to go back there. You know, I parked at SoFi. I took my daughter and her friend to a concert. Harry Styles, you heard of that guy? A little bit. Yeah, Harry Styles. And sugar water? Yeah, something like that. Watermelon sugar or whatever the thing. Oh, look at you knowing. You nailed it. Yeah. Instant park. I had a cheaper seat. I was in the parking lot with a CD. But we parked, the first time that I took them to a concert, we parked in SoFi, and it was going to take forever to get out because nobody was moving. So I drove by, and I was going to drive over a curb and get out of there on the curb. And the cop said, hey, if you do that, I'm going to give you a ticket. And I said, all right, I didn't do it. 900 people did it. Yeah. You can give anybody a ticket. And I just, like an a-hole, just, obeyed the law. And then the second time I went, I learned from that experience, so I parked across from Sizzler in this, sort of, creepy, motel-ish apartment kind of thing, by the hour motel. Yeah, no, but the guy said $30 and I'll wash your car. And I said, okay, here it is. And I parked there and it was great. I got out of there. I literally, as I drove out of there, it was at 10:30 at night. And I got back into my house in Burbank before 11 o'clock. It was less than 25 minutes. It was great. So you have to park off campus. And, even further than, than the Hollywood Casino. Yeah, still further than the Hollywood. Yeah, you really got to park way away from that joint. They got to get that together. They can't, it's going to be like Hollywood Bowl where you have to worry about your exit the entire concert. Yeah, the entire time. Yeah. And look, when I was sitting in the parking structure, when we got back to our car, and then I realized we're not going anywhere, I got out of the car and I walked to the edge of the opening down that 4th floor and just looked down at the street. And it was a parking lot as far as I could see in one way or the other. There's no way. Yeah. My mom and dad were notorious for getting and running with the kids, trying to get the hell out of wherever we were. Yeah. And I remember my mom, she took me to Phantom of the Opera. I think I told the story there. She took me to Phantom of the Opera. And, the typical, this is my mom. She would go to a performance. She'd be very excited. She'd listen to music on the way down. And then 5 minutes into it, she was completely asleep. Just passed out. Anyway, bro. When we got into our aisle, there were 2 people in our aisle that were asleep. And one guy was the one on the end that he had to, and this to get by people when you're trying to get by in those things, especially from the higher upper levels. And he looked at me and didn't stand up, and he took me too. Oh no! Paul took up a lot of space with his legs. He would not stand up. But all he had to do was literally stand up and move into the stairs, so he wouldn't stand up. He tucked his feet in, but his knees were still jammed out. That's tough. And then another girl who looked like she was 15 or 16, she was knocked out of sleep. I always jump up and get out in the aisle. So I never want anyone to feel bad because they got me outside. I don't care. But so I took my mom to Phantom of the Opera. It was at the Dorothy Pavilion downtown LA. And the lights come on, and she grabs her coat and her purse. Says, "All right, let's go. Well, we'll go to the lobby to get a snack." So we got to the lobby, and she goes outside, and I'm like, "Where are you going?" She goes, "It's over." I go, "No. It's intermission halftime." She goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Mom, nothing was settled. You didn't even know who the Phantom is. There's no one asking yet. They didn't even do the hit song yet from this place." Mom. It's I've seen enough. Yeah, it's been over. Long. I've seen enough. I had to think that long. But she was great. She was, she was loud, in the theater. I remember going to see Get Shorty with her, and the theater was packed. This was in Canada. We went to see it in Pack Theater. And I remember her saying, at about this level of volume, we're watching the movie, and then I hear, that country wagon, that country van, I've got that at home, it's a Chrysler. That's kind of money. What the hell? You're how old? And I'm like, 16, I don't know, 17, maybe a little older than that. Head in your hand. Oh my God. But they keep going. That town and country, I got that van, with Morgan, our dog, he sits in the back, he loves it. Mom, everybody in the theater's looking at you. And by the way, really loud for a very, very shallow brag. That you've got that same van at home. Nobody cares what you drive. Right. You're saying that like somebody's going to go, oh my God, really? Wow, look at her. She made it. Hey, somebody married a celebrity, must be. To afford a town and country, one of those minivans. Right. Maybe now they'll remember me in the morning. You think now they'll remember in the morning? No. You tell me, by the way, go, what's with Conway, man? He brings this up. He brought this up. I know, I bring it up. I bring it up to annoy the Academy if he was listening. Right there. Well, he wouldn't care, but I think it's dumb that, that they're like petty about it. All right, let's talk about this ranch, this Hidden Valley Ranch. Now you can get diabetes with the ice cream.
Oh, you can find it Walmart. Take a look at that. This is another unique item here. I don't know if I'm sure. Yeah, actually, Van Leeuwen has teamed up with Hidden Valley to release a limited edition ranch dressing flavored onion cream.
What?
Ranch dressing flavored onion cream.
For the people that couldn't secure radical diabetes with the dip.
Ranch dressing flavored onion cream.
Oh my God.
I guys, ranch is one of those flavors I just can't do. I love ranch. I just can't.
Something's wrong with her. She's an alien. Check her out. She's on another planet. I'm with her. You can't do ranch? I mean, I can do it, but it's never been my go-to ever. Ranch is look, it's the caviar of the valley. Which valley? All valley. Hidden Valley. Montana, San Fernando Valley. It's the caviar.
So, all I eat is no.
There's a bad brag too.
So, all I eat is
all I eat is ranch. Oh my God. Imagine that.
All I eat is.
I'd keep that out of your singles, that puppy.
No. Would you try this? No. Okay. I'm going to try to put a little bacon on it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell us more about what it's for. Well, they say you have the sweet and the savory, so you have the flavors of the ranch, and then you also have a touch of sweetness, so maybe you throw in some bacon. This is not my thing, but here, if you maybe it's a here to try it. Yeah. That's pretty good. And what about my teeth? Do I eat everything?
Somebody dating themselves with that reference.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And what about my teeth?
What am I, my teeth? Do you understand that reference, Stephanie? I do. He likes it. Yeah. What cereal was it? You're not like. Yes. All right. Okay. Maybe you're open.
And what about my teeth? Do I eat everything? Now, if you do want to try it, it goes on sale for a short time later this month in honor of National Ranch Day. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, is it hard test or just a gentle matter?
By the way, it comes with. We're going to align here. It comes with 10% off your choice of emergency room. It comes with 0% ranch. This all started with bacon ice cream, by the way. You imagine starting dating a girl and you open up her freezer and she's got Hidden Valley Ranch ice cream. You're like, whoa, wow, she's really going for it. All right, we're live on KFI. We'll take a no. Kelly keeps going on that stuff with Matt. We're live on KFI. We're now approaching KFI 20 At least 10 families in Melinda near the city industry are allowed back home after a 50 roughly hour standoff that began Friday with more than 100 shots fired from a house. Suspect apparently killed himself. Environmentalists are criticizing President Biden's approval of a major oil drilling project on the north slope of Alaska. And officials in Ohio say a zebra had to be put down after attacking its owner. Apparently, it was a few zebras at his home. The local sheriff says the zebra was put down when it became aggressive with first responders who were trying to help the owner at his home. Things are slow with studios kicking.
It's the north-south side of the 101 and backing up off the 170, 130 34 as we roll to White Oak in Encino. Now, southbound side of the 101 is also flowing in Studio City from just about Coldwater back to the 171-34. More delays in Hollywood from just about Sunset Boulevard all the way into downtown LA. Still tough in Corona on the 71 southbound before the 91. There's a stalled shuttle bus blocking the second lane from the left, and it's keeping the drive pretty solid away from Pine Avenue. Hey, Rabbi in the sky, help get you there faster. I'm Inka Martinez.
Listen to the world champion, Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
The Dodgers in spring training action beat the Guardians 11-4. The Eagles with an 8-2 win over the Mariners. The Chargers expected to pursue safety John Johnson, who was recently released by the Browns. He played with the Rams in 2020 under then defensive coordinator Brandon Staley. Marquee NFL defensive players getting a change of scenery. Linebacker Tremaine Edmonds departing the Bills to the Bears. Safety Jesse Bates moves the Bengals to the Falcons on multi-year deals. I'm Frank Adams.
Intelligence runs in the family. Innovation runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Every member is waiting to impress. Learn more at MDUSA.com.
This report is the LA Abilities Expo on March 10th, 11th, and 12th. When an ADA restroom isn't enough, Momentum Refresh provides an innovative solution for restroom equity that is safe, sanitary, and comfortable. Check it out at MomentumRefresh.org. Great travel season is almost here, and whether you're planning to jet off to Japan or cruise around Greece, don't forget to add language learning to your itinerary. The Rosetta Stone app will transform the way you travel. Learn useful words and phrases that will not only help you get around more easily, but also have more meaningful experiences with the new people and places you'll discover. Through March 22nd, get 40% off a lifetime subscription to all 25 of Rosetta Stone's languages. Purchase today at rosettastone.com. I've been a small business person my entire adult life, and over the years, several HR issues I got nailed. I could never afford an HR person. But there's an answer, Bambi.com. And with Bambi, you get an HR person starting at just $99 per month. I thought this was too good to be true. This is real. Bambi helps you deal with your HR problems like writing HR policies, sexual harassment training, hostile work environments, terminations. That was my problem. People complaining about other employees, all putting you and your business at risk. With Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated HR manager available by phone, email, real-time chat. Go to Bambi.com, type in KFI under the radio drop-down when you sign up. Bambi.com, that's KFI under the radio drop-down. I want the credit, please. Spelled BAM, B-E-E, that's BAM, B-E-E, that's Bambi.com. These Gen Z workers are trying to get bare minimum Mondays going. What about bare minimum Mondays for doctors? Do you think they're going to work for our society where they get to come to work and say, how dare you ask me to come in on Monday and work for my full salary and give me my full pay? No, Kelly, how dare you? Live 7 to 10 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. Wanna get up high, wanna get up high, wanna get up high, wanna get high, wanna get up high, on a summer evening, we are, I want you on a day, and a summer evening, KFI, AM 640. Harry Styles, right? Harry Styles? One second. All right, rain coming in 2 to 4 inches in the valley tomorrow, 3 to 6 inches in the mountains, on top of all that snow. Not kisses. Rating is good news for the Oscars. Ratings are up 12%. And another bank closed over the weekend. Signature Bank, never heard of it, but closed up. So they got to get that straightened out. People are getting nutty with the bank. The closure. Let's find out what happened to Signature Bank. How'd that go in the toilet?
Signature Bank marked the third largest bank failure in U.S. history. Regulators say all customer deposits will be insured in that case as well. ABC's Monica Rabbi joins us live outside one of those branches in New York City for more on this. Mona, you've been talking to customers there. What are they telling you? That's right, Diane. Customers now are left with assurances from federal officials and also from inside the bank after the state bank regulators shut the bank down on Sunday. And again, as you mentioned, this is the third largest bank closure in U.S. history. To some extent, this is part of the panic surrounding the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, which has left many small and mid-sized banks, like Signature Bank.
Yeah, that sucks. Now back here in Los Angeles, another bank has some troubles at First Republic. I love that bank. What happened there?
And bank stocks tumbled today on Wall Street, but that wasn't the case for many other stocks that rose Monday. After the stunning collapse of two U.S. banks, Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank, which has branches in Los Angeles, some customers of smaller regional banks, including First Republic, are starting to panic and move their money elsewhere. But the message from President Biden and some financial advisors we spoke with: don't panic. This isn't 2008.
Okay. All right, there's the message from Joe Biden, President Biden.
Don't panic. This isn't 2008. Most of these banks weren't as prepared as they are now. I think these balance sheets are much better than they were because of a lot of regulation that did go into effect. I think they're better equipped to handle this. Americans should have confidence that the banking system is safe. No losses will be borne by the taxpayers. Instead, the money will come from the fees the banks pay into the deposit insurance fund. But that didn't stop lines from forming at some banks in Southern California, including this First Republic branch in Studio City.
Yeah, people think they're being lied to, so they want their dough. You know, they're not going to take a stand.
I'm worried. I'm worried for my future.
Yeah, she's worried. Look, the President of the United States said no one's going to lose a dime, and yet she's worried.
I'm worried.
Yeah, and that's because we don't trust anybody anymore. Isn't that wild?
I'm worried for my future.
Yeah.
I have to spend some money in here, and I want to know what's going on.
Wow. Substantial money. What do you think substantial money is, that young lady? 10 million? 300 bucks?
I don't know. In a statement, First Republic told Eyewitness News, we're continuing to fully serve the needs of our clients by opening accounts, making loans, executing transactions, and delivering exceptional service at our offices and online.
I still don't trust that. I'm sorry I have to say that.
We don't want to be, isn't that crazy though? She seems like a nice lady. And yet,
I still don't trust that.
I still don't trust them.
I'm sorry I have to say that.
We don't want to be last in line in terms of if there is more speculation, more run on the bank, people starting to speculation, more run on the bank, people starting to panic.
Yeah, people want their money, man. You don't want to work your whole life and then get screwed.
Silicon Valley Bank was shut down by regulators Friday, but SVB customers have been assured that they will have access to their money. SVB has more than $200 billion in assets, catering primarily to tech startups, and their collapse is the second largest bank failure in U.S. history.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with that lady. I don't know if I believe anybody. You know, you want to make sure you get yourself. All right, so we'll keep an eye on the bank closures. If you want, you can go to our website, and we have, we have at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock. So we have booked some really cool guests today. One of them is Steve Gregory. That guy's always cool. But Joe Larside, down here. Yeah, Joe Larside. He's on noon to 2 p.m. on Sunday. Joe Larside. He's good, calming voice. But don't worry, nobody's ever lost a dime if you have an FDIC insured account. Nobody's lost a dime. So you don't see overly concerned. I get it, though, Joe. Totally understand. All right, Dole Whip. People are fans of the Disney Park Dole Whip. Now you can hit it in the store.
A popular Disney Park treat is heading to the grocery stores to help the soft serve Dole Whip, which will be sold in stores nationwide.
There are a lot of people excited about it.
Yeah.
It's been a fan favorite since the 80s. Dole says the dairy-free frozen treat will be available in 3 flavors: pineapple, mango, and strawberry.
I know it's doing dairy-free. That's great.
For it in your local retail aisle.
I've never tried this, but it looks and sounds delicious. And I think Marshall, you have tested it out quite a bit, huh?
Yeah, definitely been a fan of that for quite some time.
Now, they have an orange one at the park, and that one is like the favorite overall. Oh, yeah, and we'll put it like float with orange Fanta, which I already made my favorite soda after this. So that is totally, like, what, it's 98 degrees outside in Orlando. Definitely works for me.
Yeah. They should have that guy, Marshall. I don't know anything about Marshall, but they should have a guy who's 500 pounds every time they talk about these streets. You just roll them out, wheelchair. He's at his leg amputated. Yeah, I love it. It's great. I really think this country just goes for it. It's great, man. We just all eat until we explode. All right, Bo Kelly's with us. Nice to see you, Bob.
Good to see you as well. Wanting to eat until we explode. Buffalo Wild Wings is getting sued over false advertising.
Yeah, isn't that wild, right?
Yeah.
There's no bones in the boneless.
Yeah, but the name of the restaurant is Buffalo Wild Wings. Have you ever ordered buffalo wings? I think that they're wings from a buffalo.
Yeah, we were talking about that, right?
Yeah,
I know. I don't think the lawsuit goes anywhere.
Yeah, well, it's getting covered, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. But I don't know. I love, my favorite wings and are from Pizza Hut. If you order medium heat, bone-in, natural, with medium buffalo, man, they are great. They are great.
Stop making me hungry.
But you know what's even better is the next day you put them into an air fryer, and all that juice, all that buffalo sauce is melted into them. You crank those up the next day.
I disagree. I can't stand leftovers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're a leftovers freak.
Yeah, if I have to eat them, then I'll eat them. But if I have a choice, absolutely not.
That's right. I forgot. When you have Thanksgiving, you throw everything out.
I don't take a plate home, put it that way.
Thanksgiving is the perfect time to have the big meal, and then the second meal is sometimes even better.
That's what people say.
And you never do that.
Never.
You never leftovers from the restaurant?
No. No, the last time I did, I was actually with, I was out with George Norrie and Robin. And
Wow.
It was like a 2-part portion of a sandwich. And I could only eat one at a time, and I finished the second one maybe 2 hours later. It was not like the next day.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Sandwiches are tough. They don't travel well.
No, they don't.
Did you go to a Middle Eastern place?
What's the place on,
Because he loves that place called Circus.
no, we didn't go to Circus. I can't remember the place, but it's not too far from there.
Talleyrand? That's another
That's Robin. I can't remember the place we went to.
He loves that joint, man. All right, so the show comes up immediately here, and big rain tomorrow. I'm sure you're covering that.
Of course, we want to make sure that everyone knows that the big storm is coming once again.
That's right. And 2 to 4 inches in the valley, 3 to 6 inches in the mountains.
It's just Tuesday in LA.
Yeah, I think he would be, doing some parties at the service unless you talk about 3 hours stuff.
I think we need to do that.
Okay. All right, Mo Kelly effects on KFI AM 640. And this voice in a world full of retweets.
KFI.
KOST
Los Angeles and County.
live everywhere on the Echo Radio app.
Here comes the rain again. I'm interesting live from the KFI 24-hour news from the National Weather Service says another atmospheric river is moving across the state tonight. ABC's are in on Alley says officials in Monterey County have expanded evacuation orders after the storm caused the Salinas River to overflow, flooding towns on its banks.
More than 3,000 in Monterey County have now been evacuated. First responders navigating the streets, searching for people stranded in submerged vehicles.
The Ohio River's levee was also breached Saturday by flooding from the atmospheric river. First responders and California National Guard rescued more than 50 people who became stranded. Homeless people living on a 3-mile stretch of the LA River have been moved into motel rooms. City Councilman Bob Blumenfield says more than 44 people accepted the housing through Mayor Bassett's Inside Safe program.
People say, look, I am tired of living on the streets. I'm tired of living in the field. There's no doubt. The river is an incredibly dangerous place to live when it is raining hard as it has been.
There are still a few people living on the river in Blumenfield's district that have yet to accept the housing. Blumenfield credits last week's success to the fact that people were offered housing on the spot, and the river will soon be illegal to camp on in his area. Investigators are asking for help finding a hit-and-run driver who killed a woman in Pico Rivera. LA County Sheriff Deputy Raquel Utley says 3 women were walking on Rooks Road when 2 were hit from behind.
LA County Fire Department paramedics responded and began providing life-saving measures. One female was pronounced deceased with me, and the other was transported to a local area hospital for serious injuries.
Investigators say the women were leaving the Pico Rivera sports arena looking for a rideshare last night when they were hit. Deputies say a vehicle description had not been given. People with information have been asked to call police. An Islamic extremist who drove a truck onto a bike path in New York City and killed 8 people He sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The jury was split on whether he should get the death penalty resulting in his automatic life sentence. The same jury convicted the man in January of 28 charges, including murder, in aid of racketeering and supporting a terrorist organization. The 2017 attack was the deadliest in New York City since 9/11. The Department of Justice claims Rite Aid knowingly filled prescriptions and contributed to the opioid crisis in the U.S. ABC Dave Packer says the complaint strengthens the lawsuit against Rite Aid brought on by 3 former workers.
The lawsuit alleging that in some cases prescriptions were signed off even when pharmacists identified prescribers as having written illegitimate prescriptions previously.
It claims between 2014 and 2019 the company filled hundreds of thousands of unlawful prescriptions that lacked a legitimate medical purpose. Rite Aid is one of the country's largest pharmacy chains with over 2,200 stores in 17 states. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once has taken home 7 Oscars at the 95th Academy Awards. Michelle Yeoh won Best Actress for her role in the movie. Jamie Lee Curtis got Best Supporting Actress. Brendan Fraser won Best Actor for his role in The Whale. The World War I film All Quiet on the Western Front took 4 Oscars, including Best International Feature Film and Best Cinematography.
2 of last night's Oscar winners have been away from acting for a long time. I'm Steve Gregory. Brendan Fraser quit acting for personal reasons. Now, he's an Oscar-winning actor in the time of COVID.
I didn't know it would be tomorrow, so going to make a film with this gravity just reinforced how important it is to perform as if the first and last time ever will.
Ki-Wei Kwan was a child actor who starred in the Goonies and Indiana Jones, but Kwan was typecast and eventually couldn't get a job. That's when he was known as Jonathan C. Kwan, a name recommended by his agent.
If Ariana opened that envelope and said Ki-Wei Kwan, that was a really, really special moment for me. And then immediately, I was so emotional for the first image that I had in my mind was my mom.
Both actors had appeared together in the movie Encino Man in 1992. Steve Gregory, Signify News.
Southland weather Tuesday at 5, becoming mostly cloudy with lows in the 40s and 50s overnight. Phoenix to rain tomorrow morning, and it's expected to really come down tomorrow afternoon, highs in the 50s to mid-60s. Rain continues through Wednesday afternoon, tapering off late in the day. Partly to mostly cloudy Thursday and into the weekend with the chance of rain again Sunday. It's 59 in Los Alamitos, 59 Santa Clarita, 57 in Seal Beach, 58 in Gardena. The KFI Financial Report sponsored by Jacoby & Myers Injury Attorney. The Dow ended the day down 91 points. The Nasdaq gained 50. S&P 500 lost 6. The average price for regular unleaded in California, $4.92 a gallon. Don't wait. Maximize your compensation after an accident. Call Jacoby & Myers now. Justice for you since 1972. Got a sell big raise in Fullerton on the 57.
Nutwood Avenue, so it looks like C18 just moved it off to the right shoulder, so the right lane reopened. Your drive for 7 turns north over the Boulevard. Traveling on the 405 northbound in Culver City, you're start seeing brake lights coming across the 10, and this is really all the way through the Florida Pass, clearing up right around the 101. And if you're on the 405 southbound in Culver City, some slowing just after the 10, that starts to clear up as you approach about the 90. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
This hour is sponsored by Advanced Hair Restoration.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids. I don't think about keeping melatonin because I'm afraid I feel groggy in the morning.
Equal Pure D Gummy has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next day grogginess, and you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. Equal Pure D Gummy for better sleep like never before. And try Pure D Sleep plus next day energy with melatonin plus extended release D vitamins.
The podcast Let's Start a Coup wonders, what if the secret cabal of the nation's most powerful people tried to overthrow the president? Explore how it almost happened to FDR in the 1930s in this darkly comedic retelling of one of American history's weirdest scenes.
And for you, Major General Smedley Butler, nothing on every speech is good. Why? Is it something bad?
Listen to Let's Start a Coup on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Injured in an accident? Dig it. Superwoman.com. KFI.
More stimulating talk.
And iHeartRadio station.
It's later with Mo Kelly, 305, AM the Victoria Live. We're on the iHeartRadio app. Some big stories that we are watching in the 24-hour KFI newsroom. The Oscars drew 18.7 million viewers, up 12% from last year. It's their highest viewership in 3 years. NBC Los Angeles investigation finds that tenants and landlords call the state's multi-billion-dollar rental assistance program a failure. And there's this. Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank have both collapsed. Let me start with my finish. And the finish is, this is not 2008. Let me say it again. This is not 2008. Why? Because 2008 already happened. What I mean by that is, after we go through certain things, then we will address them to make sure that they don't happen again. For example, back in 1987, we had the stock market crash, and then we had these circuit breakers input to the system where the stock market could not fall so far, so fast at a given time. It's not going to fall and drop to the basement. You have to stop at the 13th floor and then the 11th floor. There are circuit breakers put into the system as a fail-safe. So 1987 can't happen again. This is not going to be 2008 all over again. And I think about these moments because my father's mother, when she was coming along, when I was a child, I should say, she said she didn't trust banks. She didn't put money in banks. She literally stuffed money in the mattress because she did not trust banks. Because she grew up at a time in the shadow of the Great Depression. So I understand if you grew up in the shadow of the Great Recession, you may not be as confident in this moment as maybe other people. You may say, this is reminiscent of something I've seen before, something that I've gone through before. And I'm telling you, I am telling you, saying this as someone who went through the Great Recession and had to deal with foreclosure, lost everything. And I'm telling you, as someone who has survived the Great Recession, this is not 2008. And I'm not saying because I hope that it's not the case. It's because it is different because we are getting out in front of it. Back in 2008, we said, no, everything's fine, nothing's going to happen. Everything's fine. And all of a sudden, everything was horrible. Banks across the board were in a much worse place than they are now by every statistical and financial analysis. Why? Because there are guardrails that have been put in since the Great Recession. Circuit breakers, triggers, if you will. So it can't get us so far, so bad, so quickly. So it's not going to be like 2008. But at the same time, the president is going to have to get out there and make sure you and I and other people feel confident in the system because our financial system is largely predicated on confidence. Or the lack thereof can send it in the other direction. Confidence. Because what happens when we don't have confidence in the stock market? It declines. The same with banking. And not to get too financially specific, I'll leave that for other shows, but I'll put it like this. If everyone went to the bank right now and tried to withdraw all their money, it wouldn't be there. Doesn't matter what bank you bank at. Because that's the whole point. You're not going to have all of the money that everyone's account in a bank at one time at the bank. And they don't want you to go to the bank and pull out all your money because the system is not made for that.
I learned that in It's a Wonderful One.
And it hasn't changed. So did I. Right. It has not changed. They call that a run-on bank. We don't want to run on banks. And you can believe or disbelieve the president, but every president is going to tell you the same thing. I'm just trying to say, in the wake of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapsing, we have other guardrails in place to keep that from spreading like a virus. And we can get into the specifics of why Silicon Valley Bank failed and how that impacts the tech startup industry and how that may move over to the general services industry, but that's analysis for a different day. I'm just saying, as a layperson, and most people listening right now are lay people. You're worried about your money, you're worried about your investments, and if you are somewhat successful, you may have more than $250,000 in one account, which means that it's beyond the level of insurance from the FDIC. So they're real stakes for you. I get it. And I said after 2008, with all the financial difficulties I went through, and I had to start all the way over. Started all the way over. Liquidated my 401k and everything. Started all the way over. After 2008, I will never go through that again. I can't. I'm not young enough to start all the way over. To start amassing and accruing and developing and hoping and praying. I can't do that. And I know most of the people listening right now, you can't do that either. So I'm right there with you. But I'm telling you this, it's not like that. We're not there yet. And if anything, I believe that the Federal Reserve even said and made it very clear, they're not going to use taxpayer money to bail out these one or two banks, but they're going to make sure that the investments above $250,000 are covered. They're not going to use taxpayer money. All of our cynicism aside, they're trying to get out in front of it because they're not going to allow what happened in 2008 to happen again. They can't allow it to happen. Our economy won't be able to survive a second time. It'll be worse than what happened to Greece. So if anything, I think greed is going to be good to use the Wall Street term. Greed is going to make sure that the banks and investors are taken care of. Regardless of whether we agree with it, regardless of whether we agree with the premise of bailing out banks on an individual level or even across the board, like we did back in 2008 with Target and everything. The banks bail out. Regardless of whether we agree with that, we know that we're not going to let it get to that. And we can do it with politics and talk about, wait a minute, you're going to bail out the banks, but you're not going to bail out the students. I'm not trying to hear that discussion on this day. The false equivocation. It's not the same. It's not the same. Because if you don't bail out the students, it's not going to crash the economy. If you don't bail out these banks, it can lead to a chain of events which could have untold consequences for our economy. It's just not the same. Not in principle, not in reality. So, yes, you should be concerned. Yes, you should be watching the news. Yes, you should be aware of what has happened. And it's the truth. It's the fact that Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, those are two of the three largest bank failures in U.S. history. But don't let the headline fool you. Just because they are top bank failures, it does not mean that it is indicative of what may be a system-wide failure. That's when you should be worried. That's when you can say, Mo, you might have to go through this again. Remember the part in War Games when they thought they had averted the first nuclear catastrophe, and then they realized, well, it looks like you might have to go through this again? We're not at that. We're not having that moment yet. That is not happening here. Yes, it's bad news about Silicon Valley Bank, with nominal assets of $209 billion going away, and Signature Bank with nominal assets of $118 billion going away. But this is not that. Yes. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI 840. We're live everywhere. The iHeartRadio app now. And KFI 24-hour newsroom in any case.
Crews been working to repair a levee break on the Pajaro River along the Central Coast as another atmospheric river storm heads into the region. The levee ruptured late Friday and has grown to at least 400 feet. About 8,500 people have been ordered out of their homes. A student in Lawndale has died from some type of accident during PE class. The Centinela Valley Union High School District says, or won't say what the injury was, but the student at Losing Our High was taken to a hospital Thursday and later died. The Last Season 1, the post-apocalyptic zombie video game adaptation drew in 8.2 million viewers last night. The series premiere had an audience of 4.7 million viewers in the U.S., second only to House of Dragons. Yep, I was one of them. We've got a motorcycle down for awareness.
Mo Kelly here. First of all, just me now got my wife into Field of Greens, and she started using it daily. So she was watching me witnessing my day-to-day improvement. And here's the thing. You have absolutely nothing to lose except your lacking diet. Where else can you get the recommended 6 daily servings of fruits and vegetables in just one sitting? Because let's be honest, you're not. Let Field of Greens fill in the gaps in your diet with just one scoop and a drink of your pet with its better health promise. And if at your next doctor's visit, your doctor isn't impressed with your overall improved health numbers, you can return it all for a refund. I got you 15% off your first order and another 10% off when you subscribe. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code KFI. That's fieldofgreens.com, promo code KFI.
Cloudy with lows in the 40s and 50s. It rains tomorrow and Wednesday with highs in the 50s and 60s. This report brought to you by Churches. Hit a motorcycle down in Irwindale on the 210.
Eastbound in between the 605 and Irwindale Avenue. DC has all lanes blocked off right now as they try to clear up the mess. So you're seeing some heavy traffic from Myrtle Avenue. On the 91 Eastbound in Anaheim Hills, approaching Imperial Highway, you'll start seeing brake lights back up there. So very slow cars are clearing up right now. Green River Road.
And then the other
And if you're on the 15 northbound into Cajon Pass, approaching Kenwood, you'll be seeing a pretty slow car as you head uphill. That starts to clear up, approaching the 138. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
There are so many reasons to get hooked on churches they keep stripping. It's simple, responsible, downright irresistible, and it starts at $5.99. The only catch is only here for a limited time. Churches Sector 6, welcome to the great state of place. This report is sponsored by BlindShirt.com.
Hi, I'm Tyler at BlindShirt.com. Since 2010, BlindShirt has sold millions of custom blind shades and sweaters to satisfied customers across the country. With 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. BlindShirt.com.
You locked your cat up the tree?
Yeah, he's way up there. I'm scared to come down.
Hang on, I'll get him for you.
Be careful, mister.
Thanks, kid. Here you go.
Where did you come from? And where's your mask and cape?
What? Oh, no, your mom and dad called us to clean out your shower drain.
Why?
They were up a tree too.
Really?
Your drain was really clogged, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom.
So you're a hero?
Try to be every day. We're Rooter Heroes.
Wow.
We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. Go on.
Thanks for rescuing guys.
It's what a hero does.
If you know how to clog things, call Reader Hero coming in air. Go online at ReaderHero.com.
Get ready to sail into warmer weather with our Monster RV Spring Special. Book your next open road adventure by March 31st and save 10% off of your nightly rate and receive 200 free miles for travel between now and May 13th. Promo code SPRING22. For more information, visit MonsterRV.com or call 800-337-2149.
I'm attorney Gary Capanosi, founder of 1-800-NO-COP, reminding you that exercise your life is just shut up. It doesn't make you look guilty, it makes you look smart. 1-800-NO-COP, because we don't want to get handcuffed. And let's do that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-COP.
I'm Martin Hope, the inventor of Navaj Nasal Care, and I love Navaj. I told you about how your nose is the body's air filter. The Navaj's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and urine. And that Navaj will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navaj? Like Haley, quote, Navaj is the best thing I've bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navaj and it's amazing. For this one, I use Navaj every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navaj, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better, unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navaj. The all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snoreless, and stay healthier without drugs. Navaj is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navaj, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Pray.com's meditative prayer podcast is the best way to bring God's perfect peace into your life. Each meditative prayer helps you focus on God, fight anxiety, better, and more.
Close your eyes, please. God is good. Open yourself to the Holy Spirit.
Listen to meditative prayer on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
And now, a few words from your dog.
Hey, it's Jennifer Jones. Will you join me and my team of Wake Up Call Wigglers at Brookside Park in Pasadena, Sunday, April 2nd for Pasadena Humane's Wiggle Waggle Walk to raise funds to help take care for the hundreds of animals we take in each year. To donate or join our team and walk with us, go to KFIAM640.com/wiggle.
KFIAM640 or stimulating talk. iHeartRadio app. Let's talk about the Oscars in just a second. With some of the stories that we're following, officials in California have issued a ban on salmon fishing anywhere along the state's coast for the remainder of the season. And adoption fees reduced for pit bull mixes at 2 LA County shelters for all you dog lovers out there. And let's talk about the Oscars. I said it on Twitter, and I'll say it again. I intentionally, purposefully, did not watch the Oscars last night. You said, "Mo, but I thought it was all about TV and streaming and movies." Yes, but there were better ways that I could spend my 3.5 hours last night. I chose to watch the Laker game. I have a phone which I can get notifications, and I did with every single award as it happened. I was updated real time. But I did not need to actually watch moment by moment, beat by beat, that show. If there was something trending on Twitter, like for example, so-and-so's speech or so-and-so's snub, I could go right to Twitter and find the video immediately, almost in real time. I didn't miss anything. They said, "Oh my God, Jimmy Kimmel's monologue was so great." Saw that 5 minutes after it happened. I was fine. I didn't miss anything. And I say that against the backdrop of the news that the Oscars drew 18.7 million viewers, which is up 12% from last year. Fully for them. Now, I don't know if people were tuning in hoping for another slap date. I don't know if they were tuning in because there were other controversies and other questionable things going on behind the scenes. I don't know.
I don't think there was anything controversial about last night.
No. There was a question of one of the nominees in the Best Actress category, whether they were illegally campaigning and...
Yeah, but that was like 2 months ago that was the thing.
Right. I'm just saying, I don't know what would have been the reason or interest for people to tune in last night as opposed to any other year. I'm saying, for me, there was no added incentive. Just me. And you said, Amy, you said all together you saw the show.
I watched the whole thing, all 3.5 hours.
Really?
All of it.
You're better than me.
I even watched the commercials. And you know what? The commercials, some of them were better than the Super Bowl. I remember it used to be a thing in the commercials for the Academy Awards because it was a big draw. But they had some really good commercials, and I know I mentioned Disney and all that, but Disney, which was a sponsor, they're celebrating the 100 years of animation. Their commercial was spectacular, and you guys probably would have liked it because it shows like little snippets of kind of their complete body of work. Everything from Marvel and Star Wars all the way back to the classic animation and new animation. So it was just very pretty to watch.
It makes sense. You have a captive audience in the way you have a captive audience for the Super Bowl. I don't know across a 3-hour period outside of the Super Bowl.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, but I think that the commercials, there was no hype for them this year. And so they were a nice surprise. Volvo had some great commercials. Rolex had some great commercials. They were all sponsors, but there were some really cool commercials.
People still buy Rolexes.
People have a lot of money. I'm not one.
Yeah. The one thing that I got was the alert on the Little Mermaid trailer. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, the Little Mermaid trailer just dropped." So I went to YouTube just to watch it. I didn't have to go and line out to find it. I was like, "Oh, so you just supposed to watch that," which was a really good trailer.
It was a good trailer. I was pleasantly surprised about it because I was going, "Oh, they're gonna, wreck this beautiful piece of animation." But that came on during the Oscars.
But see, to Koala's point, I didn't need to necessarily watch the Oscars to see that.
Yeah, but you're a guy. Guys don't like to watch the Oscars unless you're involved in it.
No, I did watch them pretty consistently back in the day. It's just now, it's rather just in nature. I would like to believe that there is something unexpected to tune into, which is not fabricated and contrived.
Here's the big observations that contrived. Here's the big observations that contrived part. A lot of the people were saying it's so good to have movies back in theaters. And that was kind of a recurring theme of acceptance speeches and that kind of stuff. Well, but that's what, again, it's the contrived part. They're trying to get people to go back to theaters. The other thing was there were a lot of ads for themselves, like Paramount, Showtime, Warner Brothers, 100. Like they advertise your streaming? Yes.
That's kind of counterintuitive. So
It's really interesting, though. Because maybe they're like, I was trying to get you back into the movie theater, but we know that you're just going to be streaming.
yeah, perception space. It's just that. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. And here's the other thing. It wasn't, I don't know how it's contrived, but this was like Top Gun, right?
right.
And they're promoting the show. They did a flyover of F-18, the Super Hornets, which are the jets they flew in Top Gun. They had Jimmy Kimmel parachute in with the Top Gun theme playing. There was another place in the show where Top Gun was featured, and it was all very cool. But it was like, well, screw you guys. You nominated this great movie that was really a good movie that like everybody liked, and it got nothing. It got a visual effect award.
Here's the thing, and this is true of all the award shows. Despite how we may like the movie or think a movie or an actor or actress is deserving, you have people who don't watch the movies who are voting. You have people who are voting for their friends, literally their friends. You have people who are voting for the production companies and studios they would like to win. They have a vested interest, they have a financial interest in certain people and certain movies winning. And let's say you're the production company of Everything Everywhere All at Once. You're voting for that movie regardless. It does not for that movie regardless. It does not matter whether it's the best one. This is not a meritocracy. This is not a competition in the sense of where the conception or the participants are the ones deciding who wins. No, these are people who are voting who have vested interest. It's like if this were a trial, we might have the jury lean and lean with the defendant or someone else connected to the trial or the plaintiff and saying, vote someone guilty or not guilty. But no, they have an interest in the outcome.
I know, but still, like then don't feature it so much.
Like seriously, for me, the last Oscar that I watched was in Avengers Endgame. And not even the season when Avengers came out. The biggest movie of like all time on the world. Yeah, and when that got nothing, I said, how does literally the biggest movie in the world snub in every category? I'm out. I'll never watch this thing.
Because it's not artistic for a while.
These are cool. I'll stick to the NC where my business is. I'll just walk. So I'm quite sure, and I haven't seen it, the Whale may be a great movie and maybe a great performance by Brendan Fraser. I'll probably never put it on. I'm just being honest.
It's worth a watch, but it's not a fun movie. And he did do a phenomenal job. I was sad that Elvis didn't win anything. He was nominated for 8 or 9. He didn't win anything, and it was, the music was good. Visually, it was cool. Austin Butler did an amazing job as Elvis. I'm not, maybe not better than Brendan Fraser, but, I was sad that they didn't win anything.
Well, and if you want to, go category by category and analyze whether, Elvis would have been better than the other 4 nominees, we could do that other 9 in the course of that picture. That's what people recommend. You say, such movie didn't win anything. I understand that. I don't look to these award shows to do anything for me other than give me stuff to talk about on the radio at this point. I'm being serious. I don't get anything out of it. It's not like if I watch all the movies, I get a discount to go to a movie theater or something like that. I get nothing out of it except material.
Okay, well, you don't have to watch it. I'll watch it for you. I do kind of dig them, even.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even when I disagree with a lot of the stuff that happens, and I get really mad when I get political, which I didn't do it all last night, which is nice. But I still like the pomp and circumstance and the show, and I'm gonna come watch and get it for you.
That's what I hear. I listen to Mama. Well, we'll see what happens next year. I guess they're moving in the right direction. Waiting for us. It's regular with most shows. KFI 840 live everywhere. I mean, I thought radio app now for anything. KFI 112.
A regional bank that operates in Southern California. I say it.
With more than $110 billion in assets, Signature Bank collapses the third biggest bank failure in U.S. history. All of the bank's former customers have automatically become members of a newly created bank run by the FDIC. Signature Bank had locations in the LA area and at least one location in Orange County. The failure of the New York-based bank yesterday follows the recent failure of California-based Silicon Valley Bank, which collapsed because customers fearful of the bank's financial health rushed to withdraw their money. Officials say both banks' customers will be able to access all of their money. In Beverly Hills, Blake Trolley, KFI News.
7 restaurants in Rancho Santa Margarita have been robbed in a very short span of time. The Orange County Sheriff's Department says security footage captured at one business shows 2 people using power tools to break into locked safes on Saturday. Officials say the pair also stole safes that had not been anchored to the ground. Lulu's Cafe, Luna Grill, and Mountain Mike's Pizza were among the restaurants hit. Sergeant Mike Woodard says the robbers targeted several locations, including 3 businesses and 1 strip mall. President Biden says Australia is going to buy nuclear-powered attack subs from the U.S. He and leaders from Australia and the UK made it clear the subs are nuclear-powered, not nuclear-armed, during a meeting in San Diego this afternoon.
We're not to discuss to carry out our first project under office. And developing Australia is conducting on nuclear-powered submarine capacity.
The next stage of the contract involves Australia buying up to 5 U.S.-made submarines in the 2030s, so the UK and Australia can go into an announcement as part of a 3-day West Coast trip. They'll stop in Monterey Park and Las Vegas before heading back to the White House for his own trip. Russia says Moscow is ready to accept an extension to a range of 2 days. The UN and Turkey brokered a deal between the 2 warring countries in July that allows Ukraine to ship food and fertilizer from its Black Sea ports. That agreement was renewed in November. It expires Saturday. Another 120-day extension was being discussed. Rappers Drake and 21 Savage are headed out on tour months after dropping their joint album Her Loss. The duo is taking their act on the road for the It's All a Blur tour. The tour stops at the Kia Forum and Crypto.com Arena in August. Free show tickets go on sale March 15th. Southline weather from KFI, times good, lows in the 40s and 50s, cloudy with a chance of rain tomorrow morning, then rain likely for the afternoon, heavy at times. Highs will be in the 50s to mid-60s. The rain should end by Thursday afternoon. Actually, it should end by Wednesday afternoon. And we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head toward the weekend, with highs in the 50s and 60s. 61 in Fullerton, 57 in Eastern Video. Crash in South LA number 110.
Blocking the left lane so you'll see the race building at that Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Motorcycle crash from the 210 eastbound in Irwindale. That's just before Irwindale Avenue. Looks like DOT has reopened the carpool and 4 left lanes, but the right lane is still shut down. That causes some heavy traffic from Myrtle. In Roland Heights, good news on the 50 eastbound, actually westbound, that's in McDonald's. Stalled car there has been moved out of lane to drive recovering from Fairway Drive. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
Hi everyone, I'm KTLA Samantha Cortese, here to tell you your afternoons just got a lot smarter.
From Live Stream Press
Have the latest here at News. Seriously, KTLA 5 News is now live from 3 to 7 every weekday. Really heavy rain comes through. We're covering more stories from more places more often with the Southland's most sought-after news team, the most local news in Southern California. KTLA 5 News, join us weekdays from 3 to 7. Another reason why KTLA is LA's very own.
I know my Sunday on TWS. Shooting travel starts this season in Manitoba, Mexico. Live Golf returns to the U.S. Live from Tucson, Arizona. Live Golf is live all season long. The battle for the most prize money in golf history. Live Golf on the TW. Are you ready for this? Every Friday on the TWS and likewise Saturday and Sunday on your TW network. Saturday and Sunday morning starting at 10 on KTLA 5, the TW. If you've been thinking about calling Advanced Hair Restoration, do yourself a favor and simply schedule your free consultation today. Find out if your bald spot, receiver, relief, just knowing that a full head of hair is a real possibility. Advanced Hair's one-day treatment is virtually pain-free, and your new hair starts growing back the very next day. It worked for me, and dozens of our listeners have thanked me personally for inspiring them to take control. Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care also makes this the perfect time to pursue your needs. Do yourself a favor and schedule your free consultation right now. If you choose to move forward, you're also going to receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. That's huge. Call 844-333-HAIR. Scheduling a consultation is literally the hardest part. Advanced Hair successfully restored my bald spot, and they even guarantee that your new hair will also grow. 844-333-HAIR or
My motivation is world peace. As you know, I stream my life all day, every day, and I don't want people to have to go anywhere. So I've literally given a perfect push here in come for the last many years behind world peace achieving them all. And I really think there's a lot of technological advances that we can make as a people. We should no longer be fighting about minor things, and really it's all about no more war. It's an important thing. So that's what I see in my life, and that's my motivation.
Will you tell me how much jumps out my brain?
$99. Doesn't matter if it's a kitchen sink or a mainline.
Just like project management, and also I have certification in data, so I work for
This is Jacob Emma. You've been involved in a motorcycle accident. 24. More information about
full-time with having a 4-hour job, and I really thought it was going to go viral within a month, maybe 2, maybe 3, and here we are, a little bit longer than I expected. However, picking up a lot of momentum on TikTok, which is interesting. I normally stream my life all day and nobody watches it, and there's so much content. However, Discord right now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people watching it right now, and that's an important aspect, because when you get, when you're able to make impressions on people more and more, then they get addicted to your content, and then things start to go up. So if you're wondering, where the hell has Rabbi been? I've been really on Discord, and I really want to share my heart with you, and I listen a lot of times, but I've got so many devices going sometimes I just can't always be there, but I want you to know I am picking up a little bit of momentum on Discord, and I think that's it's a really good
NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office has announced it has been tracking a new asteroid that could potentially hit Earth on Valentine's Day in 2046. Isn't that nice? Probably won't be around to see it. And it's this Pi Day. I was never a great math student. I'm self-aware. Not that I failed or anything, it's just something that was very difficult for me. With the exception of geometry, and geometry, that's more analytical. That's right up my alley. But when it came to algebra 2, trig, calculus, struggled mightily. That was just not my thing. It was all I could do to get through business calculus in college. It was the worst 4 months of my life.
I don't have a degree in data science. I have a degree in project management. Professional, I'm a project management professional. I ask people when I ask the data analyst. So technical is really important.
March 14th, tomorrow, pi 3.14, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I don't know how many numbers you might be able to name in pi, but it doesn't matter to me. What does matter to me is they have some pizza deals, which are available for you and me. Yes, pizza deal for Pi Day tomorrow. And I thought it was my responsibility, my duty, to let you know, because you can't wait until the fourth quarter rolls around on Saturday. It's too late. So here's what's out there for Pi Day, March 14th, tomorrow. At 7-Eleven, not that I recommend going to 7-Eleven, but I'll at least let you know. At 7-Eleven, rewards members can get a whole pizza for $3.14 tomorrow.
And they have pizza tomorrow.
Oh, they have pizza $3.14 tomorrow.
And they have pizza tomorrow.
Oh, they have pizza. They have pizza. No, they have pizza in the same location. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend if you're a pizza connoisseur to go to 7-Eleven. But if you want a pizza for $3.14,
that's a steal.
They got you. There's Blaze Pizza. Reward members can get one 11-inch pizza for $3.14 tomorrow when they use the app. And Fresh Brothers, the chain is offering a personal one-topping pizza for $3.14 tomorrow. Additional toppings cost $1 each. Use the code PIDAY, PIDAY, freshbrothers.com. And I don't know about this place. I Like Pie Bake Shop. A Pi Day assortment of mini pies is available for pre-order in the ILikePieBakeShop.com. And it's P-I. Mountain Light. Customers using the Change app can get $3.14 off any size pizza except for a mini at participating locations tomorrow. North Italia. The chain will be serving a new pizza called La Pizzeria from March 14th to April 10th at its restaurants in Santa Monica, El Segundo, Del Amo, and Irvine. The price is $18. That is not exactly cheap for Pi Day, but you can look it up at northitalia.com /Pi Day, that's PIDAY. There's no E. And there's Piology. Loyalty Club members can get 3.14 times their reward points tomorrow. And that's Piology.com, PIEOLOCY.com. And I'm a guy. It's really difficult for me to ever turn down pizza. And if you work here, it's very frequent that pizzas will be rolling through here. Someone will buy a pizza for the staff, the honor staff, for the news department. There's pizza here at least once a week. And it's everything I can do not to just go into a coma from all the sodium in the pizza. If I can't turn down pizza, ever. Now, see, my son, he was in, what is it, 8th grade. He entered a Pi contest. So it was like for the school district, for LAUSD. And within LAUSD's Pi contest, he could, count Pi or whatever all the way to the highest level of Pi. I don't know what it is. But he was well, he scored very high as far as where he went with Pi score. And I believe he ranked in like the top 10 of like Pi counting. How far could you go? I don't know. I just thought you were very good. Well, once I died, this is Pi, all right. It's my disciple, thank the conference over die. Mother, and now we're on the freeway. 38 and 32, now we're 12 on the news. 7,962 and that is new. I can say, my knowledge of Pi has not helped me anywhere in life with the exception of maybe pizza deals. That's it. I think he won a pizza in his classroom. Someone came up on some pizza because of his Pi count. Now see, there's one thing about being an adult I do enjoy. I don't have to win a Pi contest. I just go buy a pizza.
So are you buying pizza for all of us to Pi Day?
Damn it, yes I am.
Okay.
This is a pizza. I found this Pi called the Pi. It's my disciple. I could conference over die. Mother, and now we're on the freeway. We have your horoscope, and it's a horoscope. How your zodiac sign will lead to your death. Her astrologer.
Okay.
Well, I'll take it. You know how it goes. I'll tell you about it when we come back. This is Radio with Mo Kelly. KFI 40 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now it's 82. KFI 24 hours.
Cooper and Lyft can continue to treat their drivers in California as independent contractors. The state appeals court ruled today the Texans can bypass other state laws requiring worker protections and benefits of being employed as their rides remain capped. A registered sex offender has been charged with sexually assaulting 2 women in Newport Beach. Police gave a 33-year-old attack the women March 4th and held on $1 million bail. Former Dodger Trevor Bauer has signed a 1-year deal with the Japanese baseball team. The former Cy Young winner, who sat out the entire 22 season because of a sexual assault scandal, was pursued by several teams after he was released by the Dodgers. Besides tonight's chance of rain tomorrow morning and rain likely by the afternoon, highs from the 50s to mid-60s. This report brought to you by Duffy Power Services. From the Southern California Toyota Dealer Traffic Center, let's go places, crashing Eagle Rock on the street.
Blocking the 2 middle lanes, so you see the ways as you approach Stanford and the road. In Urbandale, 210 eastbound before Urbandale Avenue. CC still working on a motorcycle crash that's blocking those right lanes, so overall it's a heavy ride from Myrtle. And things are looking up for you now on the 110 southbound in South LA. That's at Vernon Avenue, earlier crash there. It's been moved out of the left lane, and it looks like your drive is moving pretty smoothly now. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno. Tired of the threat of power shutoffs due to wildfires, severe weather, or electrical grid failures? Climate extremes and aging infrastructure make a backup generator essential. Duffy Power Services has been LA's generator expert for nearly 60 years. Go to DuffyPower.com. That's DuffyPower.com. This report is sponsored by Blindster.com. Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and stay big at Blindster.com. On Ice T's Daily Game podcast, the cultural icon unveils words of wisdom and motivational quotes he's collected over the years. No punches are pulled, as Ice shares his special brand of profound and brutal honesty on topics like romance, success, failure, and more. You can't sit back and say, I'm going to win this game and not go to practice. You still got Listen to IC's Daily Dinner on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast. Yeah, visit YouCanBeatIt.org or call 833-422-4255. Plus, we got a case of the sick COVID-19. Brought by the California Department of Public Health.
Could you use some extra help meeting basic needs, like putting food on the table or paying your rent? Keeping your home warm and the lights on is about the Supplemental Security Income Program, SSI, administered by Social Security. It's money you can use to help pay for basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, or medical needs. You can receive monthly SSI payments if your income and financial resources are low, and you're 65 or older, with a disability, or pay it once. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to learn more about SSI and start the application process today. That's ssa.gov/SSI. This message produced by Social Security and U.S. Taxpayers Tax.
I never chose to become a gambling addict, but what I did choose was to get help from a professional counselor.
For no-cost gambling addiction counseling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text SUPPORT to 53342, brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Get ready to celebrate your favorite podcast at our iHeart Podcast Awards. TuneIn is the best podcast. Click home awards in categories like comedy, crime, pop culture, and more. Watch on iHeartRadio's YouTube channel and Facebook page. And listen on iHeartRadio tomorrow night at 9. Considering an ED for yourself or your business? Consider the benefits of subscription. I'm Scott Pugh, the CEO of Economy, where an ED subscription is like a lease but way more flexible. It's a free way to get month-to-month access to a new ED. You can even pay with your credit card. Learn more at economy.com. The Department of Energy has concluded that COVID most likely arose from a lab leak. If all you do is look at a map of Wuhan, they've got a giant national advanced biological research lab. Let's not forget that if you said COVID came out of a lab on Twitter, Alien Data, your Twitter account would be banned. Live 9 to 1 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. This thing was hotel at KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's talk about horoscopes. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're going to bring you a list of the probable causes of your death according to your sign in the zodiac. We'll start with Aries. Again, it comes from Koala Shark. This is his idea, so let's blame him right now. Aries. This fire sign died by swinging a baseball bat so hard they ruptured their internal organs, a la Aries slugger Tim Creighton, who hit a home run that sent him straight into the dirt. The sign is hard pressed to ignore a dare or pass up a wager, as was the case for probable Ram Sergei Kudinov, who suffered a fatal heart attack after betting a pal $4,000 he could have sex for 12 hours straight. What? That's Aries. Taurus. Taurus is the kind of sign that accidentally asphyxiates in a bag of chips or dies falling out of bed. Gluttony is the favorite sin of this herd. Its act made manifest in regal campaigns for the loving old King Adolf Friedrich of Sweden, who legitimately ate himself to death on Mardi Gras back in 1771. Give it up. Easily distracted and absolutely scatterbrained, Gemini dies while multitasking, attempting to text their ex, change the radio station, curl their eyelashes, and crush up an Adderall, all while operating a motor vehicle. Cancer, often up in their fields and unable to express the scope of their despair, cancer is killed by the crushing weight of their accumulated emotional baggage, unpaid parking tickets, tattered stuffed animals, sweater collections, and mountain of unmet expectations. Leo's the sort to fall to their death while attempting to take a tasteful nude on a balcony. Rulers of the fifth house of fun, there's a high chance they will dance themselves into the grave like the denizens of Strasbourg did in the year of our Lord 1518. In what is perhaps the most leonine death of all time, Jamaican activist and apex Leo Marcus Garvey died from a stroke after obituary. Virgo, perennially let down by their fellow man and ever caught between wanting to help and wanting to retreat, Virgo eventually dies of boredom, falls out of a tree, or chokes to death on an herbal supplement and or their own bitter disappointment. Libra, a veritable gaggle of noxious growth, notorious F-boys, and vain libertines, Libra is killed by the jealous wife/husband of their lover, untreated syphilis or complications from botched plastic surgery. Libra, if you gotta go. Ruled by Venus, planet of love and luxury, it tracks that Libra George Plantagenet when poetically to drown in a barrel of Malmedy wine. Big up to GP for being the rare sort of Libra capable of making a decision. Scorpio, here goes bold. Yeah. Guesses they hold and curses they carry. Power players, practitioners of witchcraft, and rulers of the eighth house of sex, death, and other people's money. This is a sign most likely to fake their own death and or get away with murder. That's me. Sagittarius, this is me. Ever tried, in order to use it to stop, Sagittarius to kill suffocate in a partially deflated bouncy house? Those are precious. A partial. I can't get a fully inflated bouncy house. Why do you think partially deflated?
Well, maybe it's just like suffocate too.
I guess that's better. I'm Ron Burgundy. Capricorn, industrious, punishing, and concerned with gain, capital, and otherwise. Capricorn is either crushed to death by a dropped barbell, dies masturbating to a mattress covered in money, is killed by a dominatrix. They try. I'm not a Capricorn. I love it. Sorry, but my mom is. Aquarius, because Aquarius is more alien than human, more mind than heart, it takes a hello of a lot of effort to kill one. Consider Aquarius Gary Orr, who, in typical fifth sign fashion, dies while trying to prove a point for wicked-eyed water-bearer wizard Gregor Rasputin, who was poisoned, shot in the head, repeatedly bludgeoned, and castrated before ultimately drowning in a frozen river. His fickle deed is now the stuff of folk legend, revered for its ability to miraculously cure blindness and accurately predict. Yeah. And Pisces, excruciatingly sensitive, enamored by escape, and swinging wildly between absolute empathy and utter nihilism. Pisces, subsisting on little more than seawater and ether, dies of energy and drowns in the bathtub. I mean, there's no real good way to go, but there are worse ways to go.
Mine was the weirdest.
What's your sign again? I can never remember.
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Yeah? Oh, yeah. That's pretty weird. Yeah, you're out there.
That one.
Yeah. Hopefully these are all wrong. All wrong. Scorpio produce pretty already. It will be wrong. Scorpio produce pretty already. It will be Seven, what's your sign again? Mine's 10. Oh. Wait a minute. Find it again. Yeah. How are you guys? Do you remember? I don't remember. It's a lot. Okay, so often up in their fields and unable to express the scope of their despair, cancer is killed by the crushing weight of their accumulated emotional baggage, unsafe parking tickets, tattered stuffed animals, sweater collection, and mountain of unmet expectations.
Yeah. That doesn't sound horrific. It just sounds like I'm going to be sad and die.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of tattered stuffed animals to kill somebody. That almost sounds like the death of a hoarder. Are you a hoarder? Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, my mom is totally a hoarder and she's cancer.
Well, there you go. There's a lot of truth in that somewhere. My thing was, like, especially in the TV kind of depression, like, you feel everything is put up from what you have,
They're going to be so sad. They're not today.
Not today. Not today. Nobody's dying today. When we come back, I'll be joined in the studio by the co-star of Superman and Lois on the CW, Wale Hart, in just a moment. So keep it right here. We're going to get it to you. KFI 8640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Just say, insert smart speaker in here. Like KFI 8640. That's all you got to do. We're living in a space age. KOST is here too.
Los Angeles, LA County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
From riverbed to hotel room. I mean, seeing live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Homeless people living on a 3-mile stretch of the LA River in San Fernando Valley have been moved into hotel rooms.
More than 44 people were moved into motel rooms through Mayor Bass's Inside Safe initiative. Councilman Bob Blumenfield says he thinks the effort was effective because people were offered housing on the spot.
We had a bus waiting. We were able to say to folks, this is an incredible, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Blumenfield also says the fact the river will soon be illegal to camp on in his district was also motivating. People who moved off the river last week are being lined up with caseworkers to help them stay off the street. Boy, trolling. Hey, if I knew.
Homeless nonprofit group PATH has partnered with the LA Homeless Service Authority and State Assemblywoman Wendy Carrillo on a bill that would provide millions of dollars to make it easier for shelters to accommodate and care for pets and homeless people across the state. This made its way to the Assembly earlier this month. It could be brought to a committee March 19th. PATH says animals help make people feel safe and should not stand in the way of someone getting off the street. Homeless housing officials say 5 to 10% of the roughly 70,000 homeless in LA County have a pet. A man who barricaded himself inside a home for 2 days near La Fuente has been found dead.
LA County Sheriff Chief George Valdez says calls came in Friday of a man shooting at people and where deputies arrived. The man retreated into the home of his girlfriend in Belinda. We know that Septic had a high power light that Commander Tom Sears a minute ago said soon after SWAT arrived, and as of early yesterday morning, the man was still active. I could tell you at 2 o'clock in the morning, he was still texting and sending text messages about his ability to want to put harm them up. Officials say the man was found dead yesterday afternoon from apparent self-inflicted knife wound. Gregory KFI News.
People will be voting on a measure to raise the state minimum wage to $18 an hour. The Living Wage Act of 2022 has been qualified by the Secretary of State for the 2024 ballot. After it failed to secure, it would be a critical measure to help counties and the state catch up to the rising cost of living as inflation drives prices higher. President Biden says the banking system in the U.S. remains strong despite recent bank failures. A.W. Mason is a professor of economics at John Jay College in New York. He says this is an example of a bank run when nervous investors take their money out all at once.
This is a classic bank run. We've seen a wonderful life. It's the same story here. We don't normally have it in this country because, again, depositors are going to defensive because it had so many large business deposits. It was vulnerable to a run.
Mason says people shouldn't worry because if they have money in the bank, it will still be there. Federal regulators stepped in to take over Silicon Valley as well as Signature Bank over the weekend. A group of migrants in Mexico, a large group, has been blocked from crossing a bridge leading to El Paso, Texas. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says the migrants were posing a potential threat to make a mass entry.
They were all in right gear. They were running with shields and their helmets.
Felixio Molero was at the border yesterday and says he saw a lot of Homeland Security cars going up to the bridge. Physical barriers were put up to restrict entry to the nearly 1,000 migrants at the Paso del Norte International Bridge. The Border Patrol says there have been no reports of anyone breaking through. A new event is springing up in Woodland Hills, and everybody is invited.
The Bunny Cafe is a traveling pop-up where people can eat and drink in the company of guest RealRabbi. The owner of Joy Grad, Kevin P., says these bunnies are rescued from a shelter in Buena Park.
During COVID, people adopted bunnies, where they were bored and lived their lonely.
It says after the pandemic needed if visitors are interested in rehoming the pets. The cafe will be in town from March 26th to April 29th, and tickets are available at the Bunny Cafe website. Chris Adler, KFI News.
Some problems on the 15 app.
Let me tell you about Field of Dreams. I'm so happy to have a guest in the studio. Field of Dreams has changed my life. In fact, Koala Shark just told me of Greens. I have. We're going to absolutely have. And we're going to get you on the plan, and Field of Greens is the way to change me. It's going to change him as well. And here's the thing. You have absolutely nothing to lose except your lacking diet, Wallace. And where else could you get the recommended 6 daily servings of fruits and vegetables in one sitting? You can't. You can't do it. So let's be honest. You're not. Let Field of Greens fill in the gaps in your diet and Koala's diet, and with just one scoop of the drink of your choice. It comes in a variety of flavors, each of which is a combination of very specific fruits and vegetables for improved heart function, liver function, kidney function, all and more. So like I said earlier, you have nothing to lose. Put Field of Greens to the test with its better health promise. And if at your next doctor's visit, if your doctor isn't impressed with your overall numbers, well, you can return it for a full refund. I got you 15% off your first order and another 10% off when you subscribe. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code AFI. So Wallace, when you go back, make sure you .com, promo code AFI.
Sounds like weather since AFI becoming mostly cloudy with days in the 40s and 50s. Chance of rain tomorrow morning. Then it's expected to really come down by tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the 50s and mid-60s. Rain continues through Wednesday afternoon. Tapering off in the later in the day. Partly to mostly cloudy Thursday and into the weekend. There's a chance of rain again by Sunday. It's 59 in Gray, 54 in Marine Delaware, 56 in Lake Forest, 60 in Burbank. Got a crash in Roland Heights on the 60s.
For that McDowell, it's going to be blocking the partial in left lane, so you're going to see some delays as you approach Fairway. 101 southbound in Hollywood, just after Santa Monica Boulevard. Traffic backs up there, and it'll be a slow crawl into downtown LA, turning up right around the 110. There's a big news on the 210 heading eastbound in Irwindale before Irwindale Avenue. Looks like that earlier crash involving a motorcycle has been moved out of the right lane. You got slowly recovering from Buena Vista. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno. Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. And that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills. 1455 Tracy Road, Suite 750, San Diego, California, 92108. CordellCordell.com.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving with new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future, fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
With language is learning. RosettaStone.com. More stimulating thoughts.
And I have a video system.
Everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's get a little nerdy with it. There's a soldier from a parallel Earth. The stranger, a.k.a. John Henry Irons, portrayed by my next guest, Lori Park, was originally hell-bent on proving to the world that it doesn't need Superman. But in a twist of fate and irony, he realized he needs Superman, and they work together to defeat the villain Morgan Edge, who, like Superman, is also a son of Krypton. Season 3 of Superman and Lois premieres tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the CW. Lori Park, John Henry Irons himself, joins me in studio. My brother, good to see you. Good to see you. That was a great intro. Wow. Well, you know, I do some stuff every now and then. You know what you're doing. You don't sound like you're from New York. Here's what happened. Okay, I have to say, I went to NYU for acting school, right? And I had a teacher, Daisha Washington. I love Daisha. They're like a very elegant woman. She's just as elegant as her name sounds. And she speaks the New York accent out of me. Like, it did. It was like very Bronx. It was like, yeah, what's up, it's my birthday, blah, 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 all that stuff. You know what I mean? Exactly, wet dick and all that. And then literally, she was like, you can talk about that, but you will limit the rules you get. And I was like, oh, okay. Were you ever self-aware? In other words, did someone ever bring it to your attention and something you thought about, or was that the first time it just hit you in the face that
in New York. It wasn't until I left, actually, it wasn't until, here's what she did with the teacher. She had us record a paragraph. We all had to record a paragraph in the beginning of the semester, and then we would do it at the end. And that was when you heard the accent. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice this before. And then she pointed out, now, of course, now her accents are over the place.
We need to know that you had something to give the world in an acting sense, and it maybe had a place in this world.
That's a great question. I mean, I'll tell you, I kind of fell into this. I was a math. I went to high school in New York, which is like a specialized math and science high school. You have to take a test. And so we were math kids. I'm a math kid. I was horrible at that. I thought you were saying you were good. I was going to say you want to play 24. You know, I was just talking about a couple of seconds ago about how horrible I was at math, and I was just looking to get past, business calculus. And I was like, oh, business calculus ain't easy. That's still something. Let's not oversell it. He's like, I use calculators, and I'm paid.
I'm really going to use the computer.
Exactly, yeah. And you're saying math. I was a big math guy, so I was at school, and I was in class one day, actually in dance class, because we were in nerdy school. Hey, band, I was up in the football team, and yeah, this woman comes in, she's a casting director for a commercial. And I was like, oh, I'm thinking I'm in casting. She's like, no, I'm in casting. Big commercial, you can make a bunch of money. I was like 16. I'm focused. We can make a good amount of money for that time. And so I was like, oh, you get paid to do this. And then I started doing cool plays. And then this is what I wanted to do. And I did math and acting combined. So that's why I fell into this. If it wasn't for that, I'd be in accounting or something.
I'm the son of two musicians, and I know that the musical training that I received informed and influenced everything I did. I saw physics differently. I saw history differently. In just musical terms. What about you? How about your other facets of life? How does it inform your acting?
I kind of get from a left brain, right brain kind of perspective. Like I'm very analytical. That's my math style. And then I can also be very creative, and that's my acting style. So I like to analyze things. I'm a big person. I need to understand why something is happening. Logic is really key for me. If logic doesn't make sense for my character, then I hit a brick wall. It doesn't make sense, then it's just beyond what is my motivation. It's beyond that. It just boils down to that, but it's like, well, why is someone doing it? For instance, we have a director who's like, I need to be more angry. I'm like, why? You just can't do that. I mean, I can, but it's going to take me. I have enough self-confidence in myself that I can do that, and I don't get to do that, and I don't get them the way out of it. Because my old manager, who Donna Mahler, Randy Mahler, they were like managed kids. And I role, I think one day guest star in Law and Order. Because any New York guy has go to Law and Order. Is that like a rite of passage? 100%. All the Law and Order, but they're all in. I think Law and Order, but they're all in. I think I've maybe all them twice or something like that. and I did one. I put wait. That's Law and Order, SVU. Yeah, criminal affairs. I don't think they exist anymore, but I did that. I remember that episode. I was horrible. I was so bad. And that was amazing. Everyone else was so good. And I was like, I belong here. And then, what's the one now? I haven't done the new one. What's the one with Chris Maloney? Organized Crime. I watched it, but I haven't done it. So I took the role there, like a beat cop or whatever. Yeah. That was the movie. I was so excited. And then the manager was like, oh my God, I hope other actors are just excited over like a one-day guest star. And but for me, it meant something, that I put in the work and I got a result. And I was just like, oh, I guess I can make the book. And I just kept going.
When you keep going, it doesn't mean that the industry's going to keep going for you. In other words, after you get that first success, you can have a desert in between, a barren desert of the phone not ringing. You might get a call back, but you may not actually book something. Yeah. Was that your story?
Well, that is, I guess it's the active story, but let me tell you about my first year and a half in LA. Okay. Let me take you back. 11 years ago when I was 29. So I was there, I moved to LA. Look, LA had a reputation, my office, they had offices in LA and New York. I'm still with them now, I think they're called A3. And so, I ended up booking a pilot, didn't go to series, but I booked a series regular, and I did like a guest star, on NCIS. Then I booked a series, and I did like a guest star, on NCIS. Then I booked a series, and booked Devious Made for a year. And I did a commercial. And that was the first year and a half, and they were like, yo, this doesn't happen to anybody. I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. Right. Look, 6 figs. I was like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then guess what? I didn't work for 14 months. After that.
Now, how did you plan your life? You like, let me get your business. You spending money like you've always going to be that easy?
No, because again, this is where finance comes into play. I knew how to do money, and also I was raised by a smart West Indian woman, single mom, and she taught me the value of a dollar. I've been living since I was 12 years old. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have the service from like I'm like my mom's an immigrant, so I'm a first generation. So like I was raised very smart with money. You know what? I'm people believe. Yeah. So I see my summers there, like people mom were like, I feel like mom, well, I want this. Why do we have kids? She's like, get a job. I was like, okay, and then I do that. And that's what I was taught. That's how I was taught money.
I'm curious, before we go to the first break, did you grow up speaking multiple languages? Because I know there's a Bolivian influence, there's a Tanzanian influence.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, Belize is the only English-speaking Latin American country. So actually, the British Commonwealth. I thought they spoke it for well, they understand because it's all, it's surrounded by a Spanish-speaking country, but it was actually British Honduras. Like, they still have the queen on the dollar. Over the British Bolivian dollar. And my father, I only met when I was 34, so I didn't actually know any of that. But now I speak Portuguese reference to respect to Brazil. So I speak completely Portuguese, which is very I know, eu falo português, eu meus amigos brasileiros, como vai, tudo bem? Alright, that's a good one.
If you just tuning in, my guest is here. We do an Instagram Live next segment. Wale Park, he is the co-star of Superman and Lois, who plays. Look, I have to say, let me back up. I watched the series.
Okay.
And to think, like, because I'm a nerd, and to see that you are co-starring Superman and Lois as John Henry Irons, because that's a character I didn't think ever was going to come to the screen, small or big.
Yeah.
So this is really something for me to be able to have you in the studio talking about this. So let's talk about that more, John Henry Irons and also Superman and Lois when we come back.
Sounds good.
Wale Park in studio. KFI 40 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. Now let's go to the KFI 24-hour newsroom in 80 James.
And this mountain with snow warming up, the air has been rattled by an earthquake this afternoon. The U.S. Geological Survey says the magnitude 3.1 quake hit at 3:14. President Biden headed to L.A. tomorrow after meeting with UK and Australian leaders in San Diego today. We'll be talking about how to stop gun violence leaders in San Diego today. We'll be talking about how to stop gun violence at an event in Monterey Park where 11 people were shot and killed January 21st at a dance hall during a Lunar New Year celebration. And continuing to recover from a concussion and broken rib at a rehab facility. He was injured when he fell at a fundraising dinner at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in D.C. last week. Body was urged in the 40s and 2016. Got a crash in Roland Heights on 16.
I played westbound at McDonald's, so it looks like these dudes moved back out of the circling left lane traffic hazards of the day, covering on the 10 heading eastbound in mid-city. You'll see patchy delays as you come away from La Cienega. It'll ease up for you as you approach the 110. In the 405 heading southbound, that's in Culver City, just after Venice Boulevard. Still a slow crawl for you there. It'll ease up for you just after the 90. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno. This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com. Is it getting harder to find new customers? As the #1 audio company in America, we can help you grow your. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Over the years, I've compiled thousands of inspiring and thought-provoking quotes, and now I'm passing that knowledge on to you in my new daily podcast. I see in less than 5 minutes. I'll break down why these words matter and reveal them. Listen to I See Daily News every weekday on the iHeartRadio app and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Car prices hit an all-time high. Our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow. It's time to wait on State Patty's Day. Now get cut loose to different music.
St. Patrick's Day free food. Get a free plus rainbow pizza March 17th.
Number 2.
Get a toasted toast so when you earn 500 points on your reward card. The 20th to 21st.
And the number 1 reason.
We work hard for you. That's why LA Times readers voted us the best casino in the Southland.
Morongo, good time. Water softeners add sodium to your water without even filtering it. Here is something better. A life source salt-free water system. Life Source filters water from every tap and keeps all the healthy minerals without maintenance, salt, or servicing. And right now, new customers can get a free Aquapure antibacterial filter with a qualifying purchase, a savings of $825. But the offer ends soon, so call Life Source at 800-803-2696 or go to lifesourcewater.com. Welcome to the Decaf News live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night for it. The curious Ron Steve has been struggling with his Decaf. His wife Michelle is trying to use parade. Michelle throws an elbow. He's swinging for the count. Steve to get inspired. Absolutely, Bird. Inspires a sleep apnea treatment to give you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. There's no mask and no hose. John. Learn more at InspiredSleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspiredSleep.com. Honey, is that car still under warranty?
Oh, no, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets a fixed core? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-301-4089. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now, 800-301-4089.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-301-4089. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-301-4089. Of course, your favorite station is on the free iHeartRadio app. Take it with you anywhere and listen anytime. Plus, get thousands of other stations and playlists, all free. Download our free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
I remember my brother-in-law trip too. We were spending our summer with my grandparents, and my grandmother said, "Hey, put it under the pillow, maybe get $1." And he said, "Screw that. I'm going to keep it until September when we go back to Tarzana, because that toothfairy pays you $5." But Tim Conway Jr. Show.
That's what's big investment.
That's right. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640. This radio with Most Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. If you just tuned in, we're now Instagram live at Mr. Most Kelly, MRMOKELLY. My guest in studio. He plays John Henry Irons or Steel on Lois. This just blows me away. Superman and Lois. This just blows me away. Wally Parks is joining me in the studio. You can watch us on Instagram Live. And Wally, I'm always curious. You are a nerd, and so you can appreciate the magnitude of the character that you're playing and what it means to see it on the small screen. One week you may be fighting Superman, next week you may be working with Superman, and this is a longer character arc because I've been following it. First you kick Superman's ass for some minute. Someone, you put him through a bunch of walls, okay?
I did, but then he's the sword machine. I can only put so much. He is the Man of Steel.
Okay, let's go back to your character background. You're a soldier from another Earth. You know, you don't have superpowers, but you can match Superman blow for the most part.
Well, in that game, but here's what he does have. He has super intelligence. And that's what I say love about John Henry Irons. I mean, like, you know, even in the comics, the difference is obviously like, yeah, my version is the version of like, so he's military background from a different Earth and all that stuff. But in the comics, he's still an incredibly intelligent man. It's just the fact that he starts to step in when Superman's dead. Because he wants to like take up the mantle because he feels like it's important to have that sort of morality, like somebody that holds that kind of moral high ground in the place. So he just has a great brain, and I love the idea of that. You know what I mean? Like he's like he doesn't have powers, he doesn't all this. He has art, there's passion, there's intelligence, and he utilizes that. All of it happens.
Now, how much freedom were you given to work within those confines of the characters? One thing to have the lines, but the reflections are yours. Of course,
yeah. But I mean, it is. I mean, but the reality of it is like, look, he has that history. So, like, you know, when I did the study of the character, once I found out who he was, because at first I thought it was just captivation. Like, I really just, when I auditioned, it was a fake name, but I just assumed that was that. You could tell, you know, what this guy was. And then they told me who I really was, and I was like, okay, I got to change my perception of this guy. So instead, I started doing a lot of research on PTSD and soldiers who went through that, and the trauma, how they get through that stuff. because that's what he's going through. This is how he's working through his trauma. He's taking a hardship, seeing his wife get killed in front of his face, like leaving his daughter, seeing her, like having a planet full of fishermen or whatever. This is one, he knows how many they are. But like doing all of that, he's turning that into like saving these people here, but also to kind of get revenge and avenge for his daughter and his family. So there's only but so much, and that's going to be the truth, and that's going to be happy regardless of who takes that in. I mean, I'm not going to come and be like, hey, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling great. I'm not going to be like, I've got an exact hammer. I'm like, I'm pissed. I'm like, it's dark, so he's going to have it eventually, and that's, so I have freedom insofar as, what I wanted to bring, but I just feel like you have to bring that intensity to it. Now, there is a CGI component to this, and I know that I'd say impacts your acting. How does it, or how does it not impact your acting? So here's what impacts me. The suit is heavy and cumbersome. And like, what is it made of? It's actually kind of plastic mold or whatever. This is what it is. There's a couple of layers. There's one layer like a thermal layer you got to put on and just protect yourself. And then there's like a wetsuit you put on. Okay? So I don't know if you ever put a wetsuit on, but yeah, perhaps. So this is super restricted. Yeah. And then there's also there, you attach like the pads from that, the chest plate and all that, and sometimes I need to lift because I'm not short enough, I'm not tall enough for the character, whatever. So all these things, so I'm walking around and all that. And the reason why I make this hard is because your body feels all that weight. It feels the constricting nature of the suit. So therefore, it starts to get focused and try to like be emotional with you when my body's being like, dude, get me on it. I'm supposed to kind of get me out. You know what I mean? So it seems like that, or seems where I'm in the helmet. And like, it's a pitch black room. And nobody's there. It's just me in a black room, imagining all the stuff that I'm seeing. Okay, the Superman's dead. Okay, now he's going over here. He gets knocked down. You help him up. You talk to this one. Your daughter's over here. I have to use my entire imagination to make that happen. So your suit though is all practical effects. It's not mocap. All practical. All of that. And I have a guy speaking out at a trade. I look at that. It's like his last name. Yeah, he's amazing. He's my strong guy, and he's one of them. And I'm in the suit, and I have a helmet on. 95% of the time, it's him. Because I have to give him props. I wear the 60 on. I have to wear it a good amount of times this season, but he wears it much more than I do. When you are going through the storyline and you see this stuff, how does the suit figure into your interpretation? How does the suit figure into your interpretation of the storyline when you're like having this table read and so forth? Are you serious? I know. When you just decide on a given day, it's just go. No, I mean, we get them ahead of time, but that's the weird thing about I know it's so weird because we started in COVID. So we did the first season, the first episode, it was Zoom. It's like table read, which is weird. It's just not the same. You like being in person. We kind of got not having table read, which I mean, I've adjusted to. I mean, as an actor, I miss it because I want to show what I have and like show my idea, and then the director to come and be like, hey, I see you doing this. This is what I'm thinking for this scene. I can just note to go home with it. But you don't. You just have to kind of throw yourself in there and just like our showrunners just help it. But doesn't that negatively impact developing that level of camaraderie with not only the actors but the characters that you're playing off of? Yeah, well, that's going to be right. It's a factor. It depends on the relationship of the characters. So season 1, it was fine for me because I didn't know anyone here. And I was the antagonist for a lot of them. So that actually bothered me. That's kind of fed into it. What the problem is, I'll tell you, episode 7 season 1, where we found out that I'm John Henry Irons, and I knew my daughter and killed that history. Cole and I, Taylor Buck, who does an amazing job as Natalie, we met that day. And we shot all of our scenes back. And we're shooting scenes where, like, we watched her mother die in front of me. Like, I told her I'm about to lose, I'm abandoning her for life, and all these things. And it's like, hey, Taylor, nice meeting you. Okay, let's go to all this emotional heaviness. And that's where, you just got to trust. You got to go there. You got to throw the ball and hope they catch it. And that's the best you can do. If you're just tuning in, I'm speaking to Wale Park. We're talking about John Henry Irons' character, Superman and Lois, the season premiere of season 3, is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the CW. And one more question before we go to break. Do you have any sense at this point, because you just about finished season 3 first, you're finishes tomorrow night. I finished on Friday, but the rest of the season finishes tomorrow. So you have a complete idea of this season in its totality. Yeah, I don't think it's been a while, so I don't remember everything, but I know where it is. Yeah, but no, keep it all the secret from you. It's not episode by episode by episode. Well, they sit, the showrunners sit everybody down at the beginning of the season. You're like, hey, this is the arc. Because I am that dork, like we talked about, I'm the nerd. I don't want to know, because I like to find out as it just come out like a fan.
So I like to be surprised because I don't, unless I tell Todd, his original show winner, Brent Fletcher's our second show winner now, I tell him, I'm like, look, only tell me what I need to know. If I don't need to know, I like to find out as it goes along. I find it fun.
I definitely find it fun. Season 3 of Superman and Lois premieres tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I'm talking with Roy Parks, who plays John Henry Irons or Steel, depending on how you know the character. And he's protagonist, he's antagonist, he's everybody. I'm tired of everybody. One more thing with Roy Parks. So see you right here. This is Radio with Mo Kelly. KFI AM640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. We're also Instagram live at this Mo Kelly. Now let's go to the KFI 24-hour newsroom and Amy Kay.
A regional bank with several locations in Southern California failed. Officials say Signature Bank's customers and automatically become members of a new bank run by the FDIC. Signature Bank collapsed yesterday comes after Silicon Valley Bank, which was headquartered in Santa Clara, also failed. Officials say customers of both banks will be able to access all of their money. People in Central California are evacuating as another atmospheric river is expected to hit tonight. ABC's Rob Marciano says people who've left their homes in Watsonville are spread across at least 4 shelters throughout the country.
All the streets there, so you can actually still hear the river coming through this area. The only way in and out of the neighborhood here is by high water military-grade vehicles or by boat.
Marciano says this is telling when people will be able to return to their homes. About 15 million people remain under flood watches in California and Nevada. A woman has been killed by a hit-and-run crash in Pico Rivera.
3 women were walking on the curb of Brooks Road approaching Rose Hills Road trying to find their Uber.
The 3 ladies were coming from an event that had taken place at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena.
LA County Sheriff Captain Jody Kudak says 2 of the women were hit last night.
When the fire department responded, they ultimately pronounced one of the females on the scene deceased.
The second woman was taken to a hospital.
President Biden is expected to announce new steps to protect more than 16 million acres of land and water in Alaska from future oil and gas leasing.
The plan would bar drilling in nearly 3 million acres of the Buford Sea, closing it off to oil exploration, and limit drilling in more than 13 million acres of land in Alaska, known as the National Petroleum Reserve.
ABC's Mark Remoulade says the Biden administration is expected to approve a massive new drilling project on the northern slope of Alaska. Vinyl has topped CD sales for the first time since 1987. The Recording Industry Association of America released its 2022 report last week, marking the 16th consecutive year of growth for vinyl.
The broadest demographic we've ever seen since records have returned.
Owner of Electric Discs in Minneapolis, Bob Cook says people of all ages are buying vinyl. The Recording Industry Association of America says 41 million albums were sold last year, compared to 33 million CDs. Southside weather from KFI, clouds tonight in the 40s and 50s, cloudy with a good chance we're going to see some rain tomorrow. Rain is likely and it could be heavy at times in the afternoon. Highs will be in the 50s to mid-60s. Rain should end by Wednesday afternoon. Then we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head into the weekend with highs in the 50s and 60s. It's 58 in Tustin, 55 in Rancho Santa Margarita. We've got flowing in Hollywood on the 101.
Southbound, once you get to Vermont Avenue, traffic starts to stack up there and it looks better for you once you get to the 110. And if you're on the 5 southbound in Commerce, once you get past the 710, more delays there. It'll leave that for you approaching Washington Boulevard. And if you're on the 10 heading east on in Beaumont, you'll see a work zone alternating between the 3 left lanes from the 60 all the way to the 111. That road work is set to be over at around 6:30 tomorrow morning. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
Hi everyone, I'm TRILLIONAIRE today. Here to tell you your afternoon just got a lot smarter.
Putting lights in front of
After later here at Union State
Putting lights here.
Seriously, KTLA 5 News is now live from 3 to 7 every weekday. Really heavy rain comes through. We're covering more stories from more places, more often, with the Southland's most sought-after news team, the most local news in Southern California. KTLA 5 News. Join us weekdays from 3 to 7. Another reason why KTLA is LA's very own.
I know my Sunday on the TW. After the incredible start to the season in Maricopa, Mexico, your golf returns to the U.S. Live from Tucson, Arizona. Where golf is live all season long. It's the battle for the most prize money in golf history. It's Good Golf on the TW. Are you ready for this? And Friday on the TW app and watch live Saturday and Sunday on your TW network. Saturday and Sunday morning starting at 10 on KTLA 5, the TW. Imagine air travel that's simple and hassle-free. That's Surf Air. Save hours on every trip. Fly on your own schedule. Avoid crowded terminals. And never stand in another line again. As a Surf Air member, you're in control of your travel day. SurfAir.com. Stress-free, easy air travel. Get a free quote on your next flight at SurfAir.com. There's a better way to fly. SurfAir.com. If you are your employee, you could be eligible for a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Do the math on that one. That's real money. So let me suggest GetRefunds.com. You answer a few questions, takes under 10 minutes, and you'll see if your business qualifies for this tax refund. There's no charge up front. They don't get paid until your business gets paid. And businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP and nonprofits, even if you had increases in sales during COVID. They are experts in the Federal Loan Payroll Tax Refund Program, and they've already returned over $3 billion to businesses. In my business, a six-figure refund. So to find out if your business qualifies, go to GetRefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button. It only takes a few minutes. Go to GetRefunds.com, GetRefunds.com. You locked your cat up the tree?
Yeah, he's way up there. I'm scared to come down.
Hang on, I'll get him for you.
Be careful, mister.
Thanks, kid. Here you go.
Where did you come from? And where's your mask and coat?
What? Oh, no, your mom and dad called us to clean out your shower drain.
Why?
They were up a tree, too.
Really?
Your drain was really clogged, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom.
So you're a hero?
Try to be every day. We're reader heroes.
Wow.
We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. Go on.
Thanks for rescuing boys.
It's what a hero does.
If you know how to crowd in, call Hero Hero coming in air. Go online at ROTHSCHILD.com.
Founder of 1-800-NO-COP, reminding you to exercise your right to just shut up. It doesn't make you look guilty, it makes you look smart. 1-800-NO-COP, because no one looks good no cop unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-COP.
I never chose to become a gambling addict, but what I did see was to get help to a professional counselor.
For no-cost gambling addiction counseling, call 1-800-GAMBLE or text report to 53342. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health. This is Jacob and Ronnie. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB. 385 AM 640.
And I have a radio station.
Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Some stories that we're watching. Another storm is headed for Southern California. 2 inches of rain is expected here in LA. And a new California bill would require insurance. Another storm is headed for Southern California. 2 inches of rain is expected here in LA. And a new California bill would require employers to alert employees what you have to tomorrow night. Where are we thinking of at what point?
So you pick it up, technically, I think like this week after the end of the season. I forget exactly what time, but not too much time. We're going like, the idea is like, hours, man, of course, the world, like the usual, everyone's kind of enjoying it. Like, here's to the job. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a job. So that's the world, good at happening, but of course, like, the TV shows, the Abington conflict, Abington drama, so such things. But the first episode is really funny. A guy named Tom Cavanaugh, who a lot of people know, he was on the Flag, he's like, Tom is probably like, he's just in the second time he actually for us. Tom is hilarious. It was a really fun episode.
Now, the village here is Morgan's Edge, and I know something about the character. They kind of twist his history, where in this generation, he's actually a son of Chris on, and he's like landed in Great Britain or something like that.
Adam Rayner, who played it. Actually, that was season 1. Season 3, we have a different one now, so you're right. But Adam Rayner was Morgan Edge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I love you for that. Adam's great. Like that, and he's British. Yeah, he's got like, but apparently British accent is like a general British accent.
Yeah, I know. You know what person
that approached my character being like,